Shalom Musu. There are crowds in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime, you know report it. Don't take law in your hands, call the right authority. Really can't take your law in. Crime stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a human target, I mean you check. Do it for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. I'm a part of report it. Crime stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is here for you. Remember, you see it, you report it. This is a message from your own self, Omen Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us.
I have been working for the past 6 years with the government, and we are caretaker. We are the ones doing the cleaning up and things. Since Joseph Boaka, for the past 6 years, since Joseph Boaka took over for the past 3 months, they be demanding us to come to work every day. For me, I pay $450 to where I live to come here and $450 to go back. Every day they will take listing for oil carrier. But I was surprised yesterday, the minister called that he want to have a meeting with us. So we got there, Paulina came, and Paulina said there is no budget for us. She's not going to pay us, and she put it all down. Maybe when she get money the 15th or next month, she will pay us. For everybody that work on a job, we are government, she will put everybody down, and that's what she did. So we got angry, we went to the mansion in group, 730 persons. Paulina, she said, Joe, we have put her father down, but you were working. So anybody that work on a job, we are with him, that job we are put there, she will put them down. Paulina cried to her. So therefore she came and said, she's not working with us again, and she didn't pay us. So I saw that we work in this government for the past 6 years. And then for the 3 months that Joseph Walker got there, we've been working early in the morning, we can't early in the morning, we can't work. We have been working for the past 6 months. So they should get our pay so that we can go and sit down. That's how she left. So we should go and sit down and wait for the 15th. And I'm telling the Liberian government, I'm telling Boaka, Joseph Boaka, I said Joseph Boaka, and I'm always talking to the senator, representatives that we elected you, we voted for you. We are single mother. We call you. We voted for you in the house. You're sitting there. Paulina play with us. And Paulina play with us. She will get it wrong for herself. She will get it wrong. Paulina, the small child. She running, she know how to have. She baby. If you want to take off anywhere, pay us. We'll go and sit down. But you can't come and tell all people that we're on a job, we're government. Are we not Liberian? Are we not Liberian? That you taking bread from our table, taking food from our mouth because of job we are? Please, our senator, you can call back. Our senator in the house, you please talk for us. You say you are going to talk for the women. That's what Paulina is doing to us. She's taking bread from our mouth. We will be marching at that group. We all will be going to the mansion in black. We will walk to the mansion and we'll point tire. And they will kill all the way they came for it in your that they kill us. Because that's why they came for the kill. They said they came to rescue. But they never came to rescue or they came to kill us. We will march to the mansion, everybody going to wear black. Everybody that wear with Minister of State that they put down, I've been saying they will wear black. We'll go to the mansion, we'll put tire, we'll point it, we'll report to the marshal. The liar get there, the information director, the information minister is a black liar. The people came to steal. He came outside when he saw us. He stood and he said, your words are coming to Podina, coming back. He never came back. He just left one bullet in the day. They call the police are shopping us all over the place. So if they will kill us, they must be ready to kill us some money. Okay. We are Liberian. We work and we earn our own money.
We want to talk to some people here as well. We see a lot of women here. Let's talk to our mama. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk to our mama. Obia, welcome to Spoon TV. You are live. How are you?
My name is Nyemade Williams.
Okay. Williams, it's good to have you on Spoon TV. The donation, medical supplies, the senators have been in the county for about 4 days, ending this entire process with it.
I'm very happy because your very Spoon FM used to say a whole lot of things about the past government. You say a whole lot of things. And our expectation was wow. But now since the government have taken over, we have not seen anything. And the ex-government, they proving to us that they still love the country, they still continue with their love. That you're the one used to castigate, you used to say a whole lot of things. So I'm very happy for you to be on the ground, for me to talk with you because I really wanted to express my feeling to Spoon FM that you're put in a problem. The administration is not young because people say a whole lot of things. So they have 100 years experience, they could do better things. But since they keep, even a baby can be one more, or if you born a child, when this child will benefit you, as soon as you born that baby, you will tell from that baby is, and you will know that baby. I know that because the president told us that you are living on loan. So I know that when he have to pay a bride debt, he have to pay asset bank money. So I know that the president will not do nothing for this country. So my expectation is very low, very high, because according to you, especially the Spoon and TV, when you get on radio, you see a whole lot of things. The man he got who experience, he can do there, we are the other one, the other one. Most of the men I used to monitor you. So I'm very happy. That's what you hear me because now you're poor in a problem. And the problem why you're poor in no understanding, we can't see it. One man will Philippine a loan money before he turn to that because the man I know he will pay his debts. He had no idea of the country.
And the way Spoon FM on air, really talking about this government. Why you people should say it's just 4 months when you want to do something and so you start winning that people will be impressed. Especially you see the words from our mouth. It's what God created with this war. Don't say it's politics talk. There's same way to say people talking against you. We are like in my church. People say that when they say that the reason why we will not win because he lied to the citizens. So you want to tell me Bakara lied to us? He lied to us. Bakara told us that even rest were coming to trap and now rest claiming them all before. It's one of those people that were really pushing up Bakara, but today I think you to be a liar. I join you with the comment to be liar.
Those days, all of the disabled were brought here. The church, Chapo, nature helped a lot, not only in Kwara district, not only in Liberia, but the help of this church was extended in Guinea and Sierra Leone. The Guineans, the Sierra Leoneans, they are all aware of the contribution of this church. Church this church was the main cause of Muslim religion not to expand too much here. We are grateful to all of you.
I was asked to replace her, hoping that Nick will follow this. There was a bill at the legislature called the Fatu bill. That bill will definitely benefit our motorcyclists, our tricycles, riders, and the issue of transportation. We were able to support the free education bill. We are the ones at the legislature that is demanding national that government takes responsibility to take care of students who parents cannot afford. But this one will not just be limited to those who parents can have. So we have led a lot of advocacy, at the legislature for the Liberian people, the young people, and today we can see that many good things have happened in Liberia under George Weah's 6 years administration. As a servant of the people in 2 years, we have seen a lot of very good things happening in our district, and we 4 roads, major roads in District Number 9 that were paved, and we also have our young people. So we also fought at the legislature, for which we are asking that there must be vocational education placed into the curriculum of all schools in Liberia, so that while our children are going to grade school, they should also be learning something to prepare them for a better future. Those are things when we get back to the legislature we're going to focus on. Those things are on the book.
We want to talk to some people here as well. We see a lot of women here. Let's talk to our mama. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk to our mama. Obia, welcome to Spoon TV. You are live. How are you?
My name is Nyemade Williams.
Okay. Williams, it's good to have you on Spoon TV. The donation, medical supplies, the senators have been in the county for about
people, where you at? Where you at? Welcome for your stomach.
I'm very happy for you.
Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands. Come on, come on, come on. I know y'all sleeping now. I gotta whip us more, yeah? Okay, let's go.
Comments they put into us that they say law, they country, they say continue with the law. That you're the one used to cast the you used to say whole lot of things. So I'm very happy for you all to be on the ground, for me to talk with you, because I really want to express my feeling to school ethics. That you all in a problem. This administration is not young, because people say whole lot of people, they have 100 years experience, they can do better things. But since they keep, even a baby can be one more, or if you born a child, when this child will benefit you, as soon as you born that baby, you will tell from that baby is, and you know that baby. I know that because the president told us that your baby on loan. So I know that when he has to pay his bride debt, he has to pay asset money. So I know that the president will not do nothing for this country. So my expectation is very low, very high, because according to your special school and TV, when you're there on radio, you're so whole lot of things. The men who experience can do this, we are the other one. Most of the men I used to monitor you. So I'm very happy. That's what you hear me, because now you're poor in a problem. And the problem why you're poor in no and you can't see it. One the man will keep paying a loan money before you can't laugh. Because the man I know he will pay his debt. He has no idea of the country.
And the way school FM on air, when they're talking about this for me, why you people should say it's just 4 months, or you want to do something, as soon you start winning that people will be impressed. Especially you see the words for our month. It's what God created with this word. Don't say it's politics talk. There's three ways to say people talking against God. We are like in my church. People say that, or only they say that there's this one we will not win because he lied to the so you want to tell me, but can I lie to us? He lied to us, but I told us that even rest are going to trap, and now rest spending the money before. After you are one of the people that were really pushing up work out, but to say I think you have to be a liar. I join you with the comment to be liar.
Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So, why? The government you lie. My people, where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands. Come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people sue us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us so. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that left us to a lot of damages. We tired with their speech they preach indeed, and now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you.
We will tell you.
But you screw us.
You screw us.
Okay. You use us and later on
abuse us.
So why? The government you lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask.
Oh yes, let me say it very, very pleasant. Good evening to all of you across the country. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening to those of you in the diaspora. Our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics, and even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them. Oh yes, it's good to be back on your radio. This time around,
you see the reason why we ask what
with big changes.
They have enough of time, but they instead they delay. People suffer, no work, but people crying for hunger. Vision and your mission, your intention to the nation is poor.
Let me say good evening and welcome to the inaugural edition.
Why?
The inaugural edition.
Why? But
the inaugural edition of Freedom Heart Talk. Yeah, we talk hard things. The things some of you may not want to hear. The things some of you may not want to see us display on TV. But we have to talk them. We have to show them. And so today is the first edition of the show. Freedom Heart Talk is on 87.9. But not only on 87.9. It's also on Voice of Liberia 89.7. That's in Magibi County.
with the promises.
Voice of Liberia 90.7. That's in Bon County.
They preach indeed and now you need
Radio Wologisi 87.9. That's in Vanjaman Lofa County.
why can't you speak?
DTV Online is also streaming live. Speak Up Liberia is also broadcasting live. And Jida Hard Talk, Liberia's biggest and widest platform in the diaspora, is also streaming live this broadcast. And there are many other stations that are broadcasting this edition of the show live. As the names pull in, we will highlight and recognize them. This is a 3-hour talk, a 3-hour engagement, a 3-hour interaction with panelists joined from diverse backgrounds.
And now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So
individuals with different experiences.
why did you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you.
Well, we will tell you.
But you fool us.
Yeah, we talk. We engage on critical issues.
So why?
We bring you the facts.
We
We talk it as we see it.
ask
We broadcast them as we see them.
the people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie.
And so very shortly we'll bring in our panelists who will join us as we engage this conversation. Today is Monday, the 23rd day of September 2024.
No one to trust.
Too many things to talk about. Too many hard things to talk about. Too many big things to talk about.
Where are
The
they?
big issues.
Where are they drawn that they say they were poor, but they're too selfish. The people tired.
And on today's inaugural edition of the show, Freedom Heart Talk,
Why we ask what the
Bomi County Senator Edwin Melvin Snowe
step they delay
is going to sit in the hot seat
for people crying.
and pick all of our questions, our concerns on all of the critical issues in the country.
Nothing to show, nothing. So why? The government should lie.
Yes, I said
That the question
Bomi County Senator Edwin Melvin Snowe will sit in the hot seat tonight and speak and pick all of our questions.
government betray us.
He said, yes, anything you guys want to ask me. Once they are tied to national issues, once they fall within my scope of operation as a public official, I will be glad to respond to them. He said, you know, I've never shied away from anything. So you guys should not be afraid to ask me any questions. And we can engage because I'm aware of the nature of the show. So yes, the panelists are all set.
Retire with the promises that left us to allow the damages. Retire with that speech they preach in DNA unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us.
And so we already have Wild Michael Gilman joining the conversation as one of our panelists here from way there in the US. Our US-based panelist has joined us. And also our good friend and brother, I love to call him the environmental scientist, Randall Dubayu, from way there in Canada, has also joined us. Oliver Kine, KOK for short, has also joined us. We are still awaiting Susan Bengi, Abu Sharif, and the rest of the other folks who will be available to join the conversation tonight. And very shortly, we go across the table and we allow all of the panelists to introduce themselves so you get to know them, so you get familiar with them, so you know the quality they bring to the conversation. This show is proudly sponsored. It's powered by Crime Stopper Liberia of Old Man Sam Zion. And it's also in association with Radio Entertainment Liberia and Z Customers. So let's go across the table and make way to interact with our panelists. Okay, let's go and make way to interact with our panelists. Okay, from this end. So, okay, your background, that kind of background in that background looks Nicodemus. But while Michael gave me, let me say welcome, good evening, and welcome to the inaugural edition of Freedom Hard Talk.
No doubt. Good evening to you, the host, Austin, Kawa, and the team of panelists, my colleagues on here. The Liberian people at home and abroad, it's great to be back with you with this maiden edition, and of course, the program that's going to bring you unfettered access to news, information, education, entertainment, the whole 9 yards. I'm here in Detroit, Michigan. I'm host and executive administrator for Gita Hard Talk and the CEO for Concerned Liberian Network. But I'm here as Wild Michael Gilman, the individual hopefully we'll be bringing a whole lot on here, our beliefs, our principles, what we are guided by, and all of that. It's great to be here, Austin. And let me say thanks to the Freedom FM family, led by the old man Sam Zion, a great Liberian. Mr. Zion, hats off to you. Thank you very much. And congratulations to the young brother, Abraham Gosson-William, on his new endeavor. I want to wish him well as well. Thank you.
Yes, that's a nice way to closing your introduction. Let's go way there in Canada to talk to Randall Dubayu. Dubayu, welcome.
Thank you very much, Austin Kawa. And thanks to you. I haven't seen you for long, Michael Gilman, my dear friend. my dear friend Khan Oliver Khan. Just to get the record straight, I'm in Massachusetts, precisely in the city of Worcester in Massachusetts, United States of America. Not Canada. So again, like Gilman said, we are glad to be on the show. I maybe my name may sound strange to others, but for others, our names are household name. Of course, I am a career environmentalist, a climate change professional. Originally, I have a background of wind turbine technology, a renewable energy specialist, a career enforcement agency regulator, an instructor of climate change and environmental science at AMU, and a negotiator. And also currently I'm here in Massachusetts pursuing my second master's in sustainable food system and climate smart agriculture. I got a scholarship from the school Clark University, and so I thought to make use of it. That's why I'm out of the country. So I'm here today because Freedom FM have asked me to serve as a panelist, and I agreed instantly after I received the call, because I know that as a lover of the state, as a panelist, I'm committed to injecting the truth and accountability into the national discourse, and I'm here to engage the conversation roughly while challenging misinformation, substituting it with perception and verifiable facts that are data-driven and are planning to engage the criminal regime with our bare hands. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, member. One thing you did not include, which is under your sub caption, as Deputy Secretary General of the Congress.
And lastly, I wanted to talk about that. Yes, I'm the Deputy Secretary for Records and Research of the biggest political party in Liberia. Deputy Secretary for Records and Research. I'm glad to work with Secretary General Jefferson Tamai Koji, and it's a role that I have been elected to serve, and I'm glad to serve in that role regardless of where I am in the world.
Okay, thank you very much, Randall Dubayo there from the US as well. KOK, Khan Oliver Khan. Let's say good morning. Good morning. Did I say, yeah, good morning, other places. It's in the morning in Australia. So let's say on behalf of everybody, good morning to you, and good evening, good afternoon from anywhere you are. Welcome to Freedom Heart Talk. I like your profile picture.
Yeah, so let me say good evening to you, Austin. Our dear brother, Randall Masafa Dubayu, and Mr. Wa Marco Gilman. I'm using this profile picture temporarily because my background is kind of dark. In a jiffy, I'll be directly in the light. So I'm Oliver Klein, KOK, like all of you would know. I'm happy, Austin, to be on this platform as a panelist. You all know I'm the lead presenter of Freedom Hub on Freedom FM 87.9, the show that runs from 4 to 6, Mondays to Fridays. On this platform, we're hoping to have all of the critical analysis on trending national issues from a more objective and critical perspective. The country is heavily in trouble. There is a need that those who have brains put their brains to work to save the country from further deterioration, and it is going to be a very important thing if all of us do what we can to contribute towards the growth of our country. So Austin, it is a wonderful thing, and we look forward to having a more analytical and retrospective analysis on all of the issues that will be popping up on the radio.
Okay, and thank you, KOK. We are still waiting Abu Sharif, who is the host. For tonight, I can announce to you that Abu Sharif is now the host or the lead host of Freedom Money Rise as well. So he's going to be here as one of our panelists. Shortly, he's going to join us as well. But before he joins us, we have our only female panelist for now. Susan Benge. You have to help me to pronounce your last name because I tried Bange. Okay, yeah. GBANNAY. Bange. Kind of knows that better than me. So you are you will pronounce your last name. But Susan, let's say welcome, man. Welcome. And thanks for joining the conversation from way there in Australia. It's early in the morning. It's around 11 or 10.
Unmute yourself, Susan.
Susan, you have to unmute your
Yeah, she got it.
microphone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Austin.
Welcome,
It's
welcome.
actually, thank you, thank you. It's actually 6:30 a.m. here.
Wow.
6:30 a.m. I literally woke up and I'm like, I have to join you guys. So yeah, that my morning face here. So y'all forgive me this morning. Yeah.
But Susan, man, I
Yeah.
mean, the name might be familiar, but people want to know who you are. Let's say to know who is Susan.
Mm-hmm.
Probably what does she do in Australia?
Mm-hmm. All right. First of all, I just want to say thank you to the CEO of this platform, Mr. Sam, for this opportunity. And like I said again, once again, I look forward to working with every one of you guys. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Susie Bange. It's strange if you're on the internet, you don't know this high-headed girl. They call me Sleazy Baby, and some call me Boaka, Joseph Boaka, Mami Pepe. So I live in Australia. I'm in Melbourne. I live in Melbourne. And couple of years ago, I took to my social media to, I was just this regular girl into entertainment. And when I came in Liberia, I saw the condition of our people. I decided to join into the politics. And, gradually within the process, I have my big brother, Mr. Gilman, and all the rest behind closed doors. Whenever I need information, these are the people I reach out to. And so it has been a long journey working and supporting CDC over the years. And here am I here today again. Bwaka is in power. And we're just here to say our truth. We're here to bring out facts. And in Australia here, I know people want to know what I do. I am a nurse in Australia. And I've been here saving lives and just doing what I could. But you know, Liberia is all we have. Liberia is our home. So even living in a Western country is beautiful, but sometimes you feel like something is missing. There is nowhere like home. And this is the reason why I have, I was able, even though I didn't have radio at that time, I was able to go on Facebook and speak on social issues, speak on politics, things that are affecting our people. And thank God we're here to, make it bigger now. Thank you guys.
Okay, so that's Susan. What we want to do tonight is that we want to have a conversation with our guest first. And when our guest leaves us, maybe he's going to spend 1 hour, 30 minutes or 2 hours with us. And then when he leaves us, we can go into other conversation. Or we're going to start do our in-house conversation before Senator Snowe joins us tonight, since he's rushing home to get set and link up with us. Today it was hell and things up Capitol Hill, and as a key member of the Liberian Senate, obviously, you want to have a say in most of the critical issues there. So he has to rush away home and then join us. So we can start our conversation until Honorable Snowe joins us. And Abu is also trying to get set to join us very shortly. And we also have to remind you that, yes, we are in partnership with Radio Entertainment Liberia. Radio Entertainment Liberia does the radio game that affords you the opportunity to win financial packages in different categories. And so tonight,
you already know.
Oliver, you have to mute your microphone, and all others, you have to please mute your microphone. That's our first rule from our chat room, that once you are done speaking, you have to mute your microphones and all of that. So hope we can start breaching the rules. So like I was saying, so Freedom Cash Giveaway is active tonight. For those of you who are interested in playing the cash giveaway, and those of you who want to play the cash giveaway and you don't know how to play, the process is just very simple. It's just very short and all of that. All you have to do, make sure you have 70 cents on your mobile money, Lone Star mobile money account, or you have $100 Liberian on your Lone Star mobile money account. Once you have those separate accounts, what you need to do is to dial *799#. You send, and you wait for a few seconds. You enter 11 and send, and then two options will appear to you. Option number one is asking you to play in US dollars, and option number two is requiring you to play in LD. So whichever option you enter, you send and wait for a few seconds and enter your mobile money password. Once you play, follow the process and play, and you get qualified, you are going to walk away with 5,000 Liberian dollars each tonight. And because tonight is the inaugural edition of the show, Freedom Hard Talk, our partners are saying to us, you can give as many $5,000 tonight to as many winners. So if we have 50 winners, 100 winners, 200 winners, because of the nature and quality of the show, our partners say you can give out as many winners as possible tonight. So that's it again. Let me go over the short code to play. It's *799#. You send and wait for a few seconds and enter number 11 and send and wait for a few seconds. Two options will appear. One option will be requiring you to play in USD, and option number two will be requiring you to play in LD. Whichever option you enter, you have to send and wait for a few seconds and enter your mobile money password. We'll take our time to go over it again since it's the first edition of this show. So we have to get our audience familiarized with the short code to play the cash giveaway. We will be here doing the draws, and your monies go to your account instantly once the draw is drawn, and you are a winner. You receive your money instantly. So that's it. So, folks, I think we have to add. Let me add Abu Sharif to the platform. Let me. Okay, so Abu Sharif is also added. Abu, if you are getting, you have to unmute your mic down, and let's bring you in. Abu, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks to everybody. Again, I want to say a pleasant good evening to all of our followers across Liberia and, of course, in the diaspora and other places. It's good to be here this evening, committing extra hours for the sake of our Liberian people. It feels good to be here, Mr. Gilman, Susan, Randall Dovayu, and, of course, KOK. And you, Austin, thanks a lot for hosting us. It's good to be here.
Okay, so we're still waiting Senator Snowe to join us, and then we can move into our discussion. But folks, just before, as part of our in-house, before Senator Snowe joins us, as part of our in-house, something popped up very shortly prior to our coming on the radio, which I want us to go across the table, engage your opinions on this matter. The Secretary General of the Congress for Democratic Change held a press conference today, and it was not his first time calling on the government, particularly Councillor Gloria Musu Scott, to pursue the case involving Shalom Musu to ensure that the perpetrator or the killer of Shalom Musu, her daughter, is brought to book. So he says that, hey, not because you are free or you were free by the court, so you should allow the case to die. We believe that she's your daughter, and for more indications, yes, you having suspicion of the death of Shalom Musu. So because you are free now, should not mean that the case is over. We must pursue this case to the end and be able to know who killed Shalom Musu. And as part of our in-house, I think we'll use 2 minutes each, engage your opinions on this statement coming from the Secretary General of the CDC. And we'll have 2 other issues to talk about as part of our in-house tonight before we bring in the Bomi County Senator. So let's go across the table. We'll begin with KOK. Are you there? We want to begin with KOK on this issue. And then we can go after KOK, Mr. Gilman. After Mr. Gilman, we'll go to Randa Dubayu. From Randa, Susan, and then Abu will close the conversation from the panelists. So KOK, just two minutes on this issue of Gloria Musu Scott and the statement made today by the Secretary General of the CDC. Okay, okay. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Chief.
Okay, so yes, the Secretary General of the CDC spoke today, and particularly he is calling on the government and Councillor Gloria Musu Scott to ensure that the perpetrator of our daughter Shalom Musu is not kept under the rug. He wants a further investigation into the matter to establish a true killer of Shalom Musu. So we're giving each of you 2 minutes to gauge your opinions or your thought on the call by the Secretary General of the CDC. And we're beginning this conversation with you.
So basically, the thing is very simple. Also, and the rest of the panel on the conversation. And like I said, I'm yet to settle in so that you will not see me yet. When this situation came up, Jerome Verdier, talked to his social media page and outrightly accused the Secretary General of the CDC of being the mastermind behind the sad situation that involved Shalom Musu. Now, it had to take Bali Tele, who was then at the city hall, and other people, to be invited by the police, CDC administration, for questioning and other police interrogation. Now, at the end of it, it was determined by the police and other investigators that those guys who were outrightly accused by Verdier had no direct involvement with the situation. There were lack of evidence to link them to the death of Shalom Musu. Peace to our arches. Now, so on the basis of this, Koji and other people were implicated. Now, at the end, when the very case went to the police and the courts, it became clear at the level of the lower court that Madam Scott was at the time the perpetrator, and so the lower court sentenced her. Now that the Supreme Court was able to overturn the ruling from the lower court, it is important for the Liberian to know who exactly killed Shalom Musu, because where you find the lower court indicting and rendering a guilty verdict on Madam Scott, and later on the Supreme Court overturning that verdict, it puts somebody like Koji in the spotlight. Anybody will want to say, okay, but you know what? Somebody was accused before, and this person, is outside. He was never, indicted for any crime. He was never persecuted. Few people around him were only invited for questioning. So now that the lady who was initially, declared guilty by the lower court is free by the Supreme Court, it means he is, in the court of public opinion, he is still a suspect. So anybody, anybody will want to clear his or her name. So his call on the government to ensure that the perpetrator be found is something anybody want to do. I will want to do the same thing, Austin, and I know you two will want to do the same thing to clear your name.
Yeah, okay. Oliver, we already have Senator Snowe hanging in on the backstage. Yeah, so very shortly we are going to bring him in. Well, we have to conclude our in-house and on this topic, and then bring Senator Snowe in. In order, the next speaker should be Mr. Gilman.
Thank you very much. The murder case of Shalom Musu is one that we delve into. That we even organized protests against the then Justice Minister Frank Musa Dean, because the fact remains that the first call that Gloria Musu Scott made on that fateful night, after Shalom suffered the inhumane treatment, the gruesome murder that was meted out against her, for 9 hours, from 9 p.m. until 5 a.m., they kept her in the house. The first call that Gloria Musu's cat made was to then Justice Minister Frank Musa Dane. What was in that call? The next person that will speak on the issue is this guy that I call the deadbeat dad, or Jerome Verdier from Ohio, who will go and narrate a fictitious, a lie from the belly of the devil, accusing Valley Teller and Mayor Jefferson Koji of the ones that perpetrated that crime, that heinous crime. So, I mean, we went to the extent, the Concerned Librarian Network went to the extent to even try to file a lawsuit against Jerome Verdier, Stanton Witherspoon, and the Spoon Network that ran with that lie, so that they will show cause why. And they are not left off the hook yet. The Liberian people need to know what happened to this citizen, this young girl. She could be anybody's daughter. She could be anybody's sister. She had a promising life ahead of her. She was murdered in her own home. Gloria Mususka says she knows the person that she sprayed the pepper spray in their eyes. All right? The autopsy spoke different things. The pepper spray, according to the autopsy report, was found on the body of Shalom Musu. Okay? So, the mayor is right, because, like KOK said, he was accused, he went to court, he was tried, testimony taken from him, and all of that. And let me state here on the record that I witnessed 3 of those trials. Gloria Musu's cat trial in Monrovia at the Temple of Justice, I sat in 3 of them. That's how much interest we had in that case, and we still have in the case. The resolution of that case must be the finding and conviction of the murderer, whoever did it. Without that, Gloria Musu's cat will only be laying that little girl to rest to cover up the crime. She will not seek justice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Winner. And please, let me just appeal. This is just an appeal to all of us that we stick within the confines of the 2 meetings, so we have enough time for ourselves to address all of the issues tonight, since the issues are very, very enormous. The issues are enormous. So we want to try our possible best to address all of the issues. So let's try to stick within our 2 minutes. Maybe we can give compensation of 30 seconds additional, but let's try to stick within 2 minutes. Randall Dubayu.
Thank you very much, Pastor Kawai. And thanks to my fellow panelists for their brilliant analysis on the question. So what do we think about Mayor Koji's desire to ask the government to start this case? And let me say this in the first place. The essence of law is to protect society, to give society that moral guarantee that people will not do the wrong thing and go scot-free. My greatest surprise of now is the mayor is only doing them a favor, but that should be the role of the Unity Party-led government, of Mr. Joseph Boakai, of Womole Kula Fofana. She is the press secretary. I saw Kula Fofana and others protesting for justice when the information just came out and it said Jefferson Koji was the perpetrator. Those people were the gang at the Capitol building. They were protesting for justice. So in the blink of an eye, there is no need for justice now. Where is the Female Lawyer Association of Liberia? In a blink of an eye, they got no quest, no desire, zero appetite for justice. But let me tell you why there is no appetite for justice. When Musu Scott at the time was languishing behind bar, when Musu Scott at the time was found guilty and sentenced to death, and I think death or lifetime imprisonment.
To life imprisonment.
Yeah, to life imprisonment.
Yeah.
When she was in jail with fellow inmates and felons, she was given a preferential treatment by the current rascal president Joseph Yoma Boakai. He called her at his residence, and she was given some clemency to go and take some medication and have phone fare. And other inmates in the Monrovia Central Prison was never given such a privilege. Those were some symptoms and indicators that the woman was being free subsequently.
But Dubai, those are privileges. Sorry, I have the authority. I have the privilege. I enjoy the minute to interrupt you. Those were privileges that were guarded by the laws. They were not. Were they given to her outside the law?
Now you see, there are other inmates in that place who just mere infraction, just misdemeanor. They've been in jail. They've been in jail forever. Nobody gave them privilege. Sometimes people can selectively decide how to dispense justice. And now what happened in Musu Freeman case? Look, they later said there was forceful entry. All investigators that went on that crime, there was no evidence of forceful entry. That woman was the Chief Justice during the most tyrannic era in most recent history of our country, Chancellor regime. She built a home, but it's very insulated. No evidence of forceful entry. And to this point, somebody telling me, blah, blah, blah. It is clear that Musu Freeman murdered her daughter. Justice is blind. Musu Scott. You see, sometimes you see Justice here, she get that veil on her face. People say Justice is blind, but sometimes Justice here can live for that veil. Sometimes, maybe she can live here and see what's going on. So in this case, we want to believe that Justice here live for that veil. The Supreme Court, the highest arbiter of judgment, has said because of circumstantial evidence and blah blah blah, they give their opinion, and that's the highest arbiter of judgment in our country. But I'm saying, it's not a surprise to me. The Unity Party, every time they are in power, people who commit heinous crime go away. It happened with the little girl in Jatuba. You saw what happened during Jatuba case. It was Jefferson Koji today who led the advocacy to unclose the dubious and clandestine behavior of the then Madi and Hosmo. And today we are talking about, and Jefferson Koji is right. There are indicators that they want to go after him. And we will not say that and allow that happen. So his quest to ask for justice is right, and we're hoping that we are just saying this because we have to argue, but we know Joseph Boga will not do it because Mususka is his peer, is his colleague, and I think he's supposed murder, he's supposed injustice, he does all of the wrong, so he has no quest to go after justice for Musu, the little girl.
Okay, guys, so we can keep our guest. We can keep our guest waiting for long, and so we will conclude the in-house conversation with Susan. Susan will continue from where Dubai stopped in 2 minutes, and then Abu will close the conversation from the panelist ending, and then we bring in the senator of Bomi County. So Susan, it's your turn. 2 minutes.
Well, our gentleman, Mr. Gilman, and the rest of the guys, they just said it all. So I really don't have much to say. The saddest part about this is that Liberia as a whole, there are tons of injustice. Talk about the case of Jessica Law. That was one of the cases that I fully covered. And as you all know, during the regime of President Weah, that man was in jail. What's his name again? I forgot his name. Can somebody please help me? That white man, the one that got arrested for Jessica Law
For
case.
Jessica, yeah.
What's his name again? Lucas.
Yeah.
So too many
Lucas
injustice,
Richards.
and the saddest part about this is that we tend to cover it up all the time. When things happen, we do it the Liberian way. So I've been following Mr. Gilman and the rest on Facebook, and I'm actually looking for us to really get justice this time around, because it has always been the Liberian way. Just because you're connected to somebody, that does not mean you can get away with certain things. So the guys have said it also. I'm just going to just leave it as it is. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Susan. And then Abu Sharif, the host of the flagship program in the morning here, Freedom Morning Rise. Abu will close the chapter on this call from the Secretary General for a continued investigation into the Shalom Musu case. Abu Sharif, are you there?
Abu is not on.
Okay, our producer, you have to. Okay, Abu, welcome back.
Yes, I am. Are you getting me?
Okay, yes, please go ahead on the Shalom Musu case. 2 minutes. The call from Jefferson Koji for a new investigation to establish the criminal. What do you think? 2 minutes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Austin. And I think Jefferson Koji have got more reasons to be calling for that because, like Karen said initially, his character and of course integrity was brought into question with regards this whole Shalom Musu thing and the Valley Tele and connection and all that. But first of all, when I read the ruling from the court, I saw Gloria Musu's former justice of the Supreme Court being set free along with cohorts. I was wondering, particularly when I saw key elements of the Wakai administration jubilating and celebrating as if that was victory. I think it signaled very terribly for our country.
Right.
And I am here thinking, when is Chalo going to get justice? Because, murder is a crime against the state. So the state is not supposed to be celebrating when the state has lost a
Has
case.
lost a
In
mother.
essence, the state is sending a message that, you know what, you can come to my country, and somebody can kill you and nothing comes out of it. And when you lose the case, the government and its apologists will be celebrating. I think that was a bad optic. So yes, this coming from the major political opposition in the country signals well to say that democracy is not over. We still have voices that are committed to the rule of law, that are committed to justice. I think Koji, as one of the initial suspects, putting himself on record to say this case must not be allowed to slide is a good action in the right direction. And so we look forward to seeing how the Ministry of Justice and, of course, the government will see this. And we need to know exactly who killed Shalom Musu. Is something that all of us must rather, even the government must be very interested in establishing the fact because this is murder.
Okay, even the government herself must be very interested
Thank
in
you.
establishing the fact because it is a murder. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Austin, are you there?
Sure, please mute your microphones. Hope our producer can bring in the Bome County Senator. I think I want to reserve my opinion on this matter for maybe when the senator leaves us, then we can come in, so we don't keep the senator waiting for long. He's our star guest, and we're going to treat him and all other guests that will appear on this platform the same. So the courtesy they deserve, the protection they deserve, and the respect they deserve. But this does not mean that we will not engage them on the critical issues and insist that the people of Liberia get to hear the answers that they desire. So let's say to Senator Snowe of Bome County, good morning to you on behalf of those who are experiencing the morning hours, and good evening to you on behalf of those who are already in the evening hours, and good night to you for those of us who are experiencing the night hours. Let's say good day. Thanks for joining us. Is in the Snow, Alan?
Yeah, he's on.
Okay, Senator Snow, you have to unmute your microphone. That's the only way you'll be able to get us. Okay, I think the senator is experiencing some technical glitches. Hope he's going to rejoin us. Oliver has adjusted his lightning system, and he's back in wearing the Zeke t-shirt, a brand that is associated with this show. So we'd like to say, Oliver, welcome back now, readjusted. Senator Snow, hello to you. How are you doing this time?
Hello?
Senator, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
1 minute. Can you hear me?
Senator, are you there? Okay, so let's hold on. Let's hold on and allow the senator to Okay, I think the senator should be okay now. Senator, you have to unmute. Your microphone is muted, so you have to unmute your microphone.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. I think we're good now.
Yes, sure.
Okay. All right. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening to you.
Good evening,
How's
good evening to
everything?
you. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm doing okay. I'm out in Togo for ECOWAS meeting, but I'm doing okay. And thank God.
The other day, somebody referred to you as the ECOWAS of the Liberian politics.
No, also what I do is that I always try to do my 100%. Whatever task I'm given, I give it my best shot. So I enjoy what I do at the ECOWAS Parliament. I've made a lot of friends, good friends. I command a lot of respect here. So I give it my best shot whenever I have the obligation or time to do so.
Okay, folks. So again, we have the senator here. Just to remind you that this show is being relayed currently as we speak on different platforms in and outside of Liberia. Voice of Liberia, 89.7 in Magibi, Voice of Liberia, 90.7 in Bon County, Radio Wologisi, 87.9 in Vonjoman, Lofa County, DTV online streaming across the world. Speak Up Liberia, online streaming across the world. Jide Hard Talk as well, online streaming across the world. These are all platforms that are relaying the broadcast tonight, plus other platforms. We're trying to pile up the names and then we can be able to update the public about that. And also, we have over 2.4 thousand persons listening to us, watching us as we speak. We are going to move into too many issues, too many talking points. We want to look at the budget alteration, versus the two reports from the House and the Senate. We hope the senator will render his opinion on the two, what's happening with budget alteration, the recast budget, and all of and everything connected to it as well. This whole yellow machine saga and the way it is being slid under the rock, the Senate pardon of Public Works Minister, over the 20.4 million road contract and all of that, mass dismissal of civil servants, the President broadcast travels, the costs, the benefits. We want to look at all of that, the imputation of new LD banknotes. We are hearing of a new authorization from the 54th to the 55th legislature. Yes, police raid of the CDC headquarters, all of that. The rule of law and all freedoms of all freedom of guarantee issues. And then we are going to close. We hope to close this conversation with a Western cluster, and operations of Western cluster. And then we want to look at something that we will not announce, but the senator is already aware of the last talking point. So, so again, folks, we'd like to say thanks to all of you for joining us, and those of you watching, thanks for joining us, using your data to follow us, and thanks to the senator for joining us. So on the budget alteration thing, we're going to go along across the board, and then our panelists will be given the chance to interact with the senator. At least a minute or two interaction. You can post your question. You can come in with a follow up to the senator, but we want to do that 2 minutes per panelist, and then we slip in point by point. So on the budget alteration, for the two reports from the House and the Senate, I know Abu has been really following deep into this. So I want Abu to set the basis and engage the Senate, set the pace for the engagement of the senator on this budget alteration versus the two report. So we'll begin the interaction with Abu versus Senator Snowe of Bombay County. But Senator Snowe, before Abu comes in, I'd like you to share with us small. How did you leave bombing? And all of that, and what are you doing in Togo? How does it relate to your job in the Senate?
Thank you, Austin. I listened to your agenda for tonight. I don't know if we ended tonight, but
Thank you very much.
it seems like a marathon agenda. But as always, we're committed to that and we do our best. Having said that, we left bombing. Like American.
Since I think there's a problem from your end, so you want to look at your microphone and make some adjustment because you're not coming in from our side. Okay, folks, please bear with us. I think there's a problem from the senator's side. So let's see.
His mic is on mute. His mic is mute.
Your mic is muted again. You have to unmute.
I
Okay.
didn't touch it. Let me someone muted me because I didn't touch it.
It was on mute.
You are good. You are good. You are good.
Okay. So, like I said, the citizens are still managing their expectation, and we're still looking forward to see the realization of the votes in the Western region, not just bombing, but bombing Cape Mai and Bapulu. As regards Togo, as you know, I'm a member of the ECOWAS Parliament, seconded by the Liberian legislature, namely the Liberian Senate. And the ECOWAS Parliament, I chair the Committee on Political Affairs, Peace, Security, and the African Peer Review Mechanism. So we are currently in Togo for one of our extraordinary sessions and a seminar. And we'll also be looking at the political situation in West Africa. We'll be looking at the upcoming parliamentary election in Senegal on November 17. We'll be looking at the presidential legislative election in Ghana on December 7. And we'll be reviewing our threatening relationship with Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and the lukewarm relationship with Guinea-Conakry. We'll also be looking at other security situations in the region. As you know, ECOWAS still have peacekeeping forces in Guinea-Bissau and in Gambia. We'll be reviewing the presence of those troops in those two countries. We're also now working on the ECOWAS standby force base in Sierra Leone. That project is kicking off shortly. We'll also be looking at the situation in Sierra Leone and the political and security situation in the region. So we'll be in Togo for the next 2 weeks. It's a long session. We'll be here for 2 weeks looking at the political situation and discussing other parliamentary issues of importance.
Aside from looking at the different situations, I was asking, aside from you looking at the different situations, are you getting involved, stakeholders with all of these that are concerned with these issues that you're discussing, or you're discussing the issues in isolation of the stakeholders, especially heads of states and security heads and all of that?
So what do? We have different layers in ECOWAS. We have a session where we have statutory meetings. So what the parliament would do is that the parliament will discuss. We bring in experts. So we bring in foreign experts or local experts from the region, depending on the case matter. And then we also bring in technicians from the ECOWAS Commission. And whatever we come up with is concise through a resolution. And that resolution goes to the president of the ECOWAS Commission, who will then forward that to the Council of Ministers. The Council of Ministers of ECOWAS are the ministers of. First, we forward it to the Mediation and Security Committee. The Mediation and Security Committee of Council of ECOWAS is comprising of the Ministers of Defense, the Army Chief of Staff, and Minister of Justice. So they will look at it since it has a political situation. Then it goes to the Council of Ministers, that will be the foreign ministers and finance ministers. And after a decision is reached at that level, and the parliament is involved at every step, then it goes to the summit of the authorities of head of states and government. That's when the presidents come in for final decision making on those different steps of deliberations.
Okay, so we can move in now with our specific discussion. Sure. So okay, Abu is not in. Abu, I think we lost Abu, so we can start the engagement with Dubayu. You want to start with the senator?
Just before Dubayu go, Austin, please. Good evening, Senator Snowe. It's great to interact with you on here tonight. Senator Snowe, Everybody call you read the agenda for tonight. That's almost 10, 11 items on there. So let's limit ourselves to about 45 seconds to 1 minute per question.
Yeah, and I'll also try to abbreviate my responses.
Right.
Thank you very much. Well, thanks to the senator. I haven't interacted with him in a minute. Senator is a good friend, big brother of mine. We did a lot of mutual work together while I was serving the EPA. So I know he comes without knowledge in terms of governance, and he has been around for a quite good time now. But just to get it started on the budget alteration and misplaced of priority in terms of off-budget spending, the first concern to the senator is, as a senator with oversight on the executive, and of course, the executive got a priority, and we see the priority have been misplaced. Now, do you think that the misplacement of priority, which has to do with off-budget spending of almost $15 million, and of course, before reaching to the budget alteration, I want to set the pace. Do you think a government almost 1 year without a development agenda, because we don't know any development agenda? I'd like to know, because the development agenda of every government outline the government strategic plan in terms of how they want to achieve their economic, social, and environmental objectives in terms of a well-coordinated approach. How comfortable are you as a senator with your experience working with a government or serving in a government for almost a year now, has no verifiable, factual, and evidence-based development agenda? We get arrest. On what basis did you guys even look at the budget when there's no formal development agenda before us that we know?
Let me start the alleged budget alteration saga. So I was one of few senators championed by Senator Nataya McGill and Senator Amara Connor that flagged the issue of budget alteration from the Liberian Senate. We flagged the issue. We discussed it in our Senate plenary. We discussed it during Senate consultative meetings. And I was very clear that nothing would convince me that the budget wasn't altered. The pro tem launched an investigation, and the mandate or the scope of the investigation to be open and open to the public. We had an investigation. We submitted, Amara and McGill, on behalf of those of us that had the concern, submitted their reliances to the committee. The committee did an open hearing. Ministry of Finance came, admitted that they shifted figures in the budget. According to the Ministry of Finance, it was without the acquiescence of the legislature. For the purpose of my presentation, since I'm a senator, I will keep to the Senate. So the Ministry of Finance said they did a shifting in the national budget without the acquiescence of the Liberian Senate. We felt and we know that was wrong. It violates the budget law. It undermines our oversight responsibility. And so the committee made that report, and there were motions on the floor to punish the Minister of Finance. But I felt that punishing the Minister of Finance when we still believe that the process wasn't quite satisfactory, it was just going to be what we call smoke screen. So instead of doing that, I think the budget alteration report was adopted, and we've moved past it. Today, the recast budget was voted by the Liberian Senate. I'm told that the Senate did a yea and nay vote on it. Unfortunately, I'm not in the country. I'm all the way in Togo, so I cannot speak much to that. But I spoke to some of my colleagues in the Senate that said to me that it was a yea to nay vote, and they were not comfortable about that. As regards the off-spending budget, I flagged that issue on Friday. We had a meeting on Friday with the authorities of the Ministry of Finance, and I was the one who flagged that issue. I was heavily countered by, not countered, but Senator Dillon. He was curious to know where I got my information and wanted me to state, and I said, well, that's the information I have. Ministry of Finance smartly did not comment on that. And then the next day, it was reported officially that there was budget off-spending in the amount of $15.8 million United States dollars. I have an issue with that, but I'm not one of those that would say the entire budget off-spending was wrong or is illegal. I would like to treat it on a line-by-line basis. Now, what are some of the issues I will have there? For example, you're talking about over $2 million unaccountable. So they cannot justify the $2.2 million of budget spending. They've not submitted any report, no justification. For me, that's red flag. And that's something, I'm sorry, let me put this on silent. For me, it's red flag, and it's something that we need to look at. There are some issues, I believe, for example, $100,000 on the president's credit card for travel. My thing is the budget was passed. There was money for the president's foreign travel. And if the Ministry of Finance wanted to front load that money, they should have taken that budget amount, put on a credit card for the president. But to outspend additional $100,000 in addition to what was passed by the legislature for the president's foreign travel, I think is red flag, and I had some concerns about that. I also had concerns with some of the lines on it. I mean, some of the budget. For example, if the president needed a vehicle, and I'm not going to question the security of the president, but this government has submitted a budget to the legislature. So if there was a need, if there was a security assessment done by the stakeholder, the security apparatus, National Security Advisor, EPS Director, and others, and there was a need to upgrade the president's fleet by getting additional vehicles and bulletproof vehicles, they should have put that in the budget. But to have spent over $1 million off the budget that had already been passed in that budget, there were appropriations for vehicles because most of the president's vehicles, according to them, were in deplorable condition. I have an issue with that. So there are issues in the outspending budget that I have an issue with. Now, what is happening here, and let me say this from my governmental experience, every government that I know of has been involved in off-budget spending. Whether it's Samuel K. Doe, whether it's Charles Taylor, whether it was Julie Bryant, whether it was a different transitional government, whether it was Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, whether it was George Manning Weah, and now Joseph Becker. Every government I just named has done the same off-spending budget or budget off-spending or budget off-spending. So unauthorized money from the budget. Now, what makes this one bad or of public concern is that quite recently there were other reports submitted to the public and the legislature that came in the public space. And when it was reported that CDC did some off-budget spending, our friends on the other side of the eye of the divide consider it as criminal. So they did not see it as a regular governmental operation, but they saw it that, the seditious stole money. George Weah, Samuel Twell stole money because they spent off budget. And they were all on social media condemning the action of the government. So if now you are doing the same thing, should we say yours is fair and the other's criminal? So that is where, Kaman is a hell of a little girl. She goes around and treats everyone equally. So if you're accusing the previous government that their off-budget spending was criminal or had wrong motives, then how do we classify yours? So that's my issue with it. And I think under that general...
The senator line.
Yeah. Okay, I think he's trying to adjust again. Senator, you have to check the mute button again.
I think it happens when he's getting call or text message.
Yeah. So once there's call coming in, your phone will return to mute.
Yeah.
No, but there's no call on my phone. No, I'm using another phone that no call is coming on.
Okay.
So you rested on your point, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, Dubai, you may continue.
So thank you very much, as Senator Snowe, for us It's not strange because the United Party government, the reason why, even though you say everything, you have no issue with everything, you have specific issue. In fact, it's a revolution even to us. I didn't even know that the president had 100,000 on his credit card just for useless travel that have zero return. We'll get to the specific merit of those travel. But there are other issues on the off-budget spending that I just wanted you to be specific about. They talk about auditing the NSA at some point in time. Now we see on the off-budget spending, and even in the new cast, the recast budget, they have increased NSA budget appropriation allocation. And also even on the off-budget spending, we saw huge amount was spent for NSA. We also saw cars being purchased. We saw car being purchased. We also saw a lot of shifting here and there. What I want you to say and comment on here is, do you support, in a fair term, do you support the government doing off-budget spending? Let us not compare it with whether CDC did it or CDC did not do it. The initial question was, how comfortable are you working in a government and there's no criticism from your end in terms of the government has no development agenda? How does the government align her budget against what? And how do you feel as a bureaucrat serving the government where the government has no development agenda? They talk about arrests. Have you seen the arrest policy, and does it align with the budget that is submitted to you and have been butchered recklessly the way it is?
So let me say this. I'm not a member of the ruling establishment. I'm an opposition senator. But let's also admit that the government, I don't agree with their agenda. I don't think it's an ambitious agenda, but they do have an agenda. They have the arrest agenda. Is it an agenda that we actually want to see for the forward march of Liberia? Personally, I don't think so. Is it an agenda that is fully funded by the government? For example, the government is talking about the war on drugs. You suspended the leadership of the Drug Enforcement Agency for months now. There's no actual leadership in place. Nothing has happened about that. They've reduced the budget on the fight against drugs. They've reduced the budget. So those are things that I think are of concern. I'm not comfortable with it. I don't think it's good. But they do have an agenda, because the agenda to the Liberian people is the arrest.
The question is, have you seen a copy of that agenda? I argue and disagree with you that they do not have an agenda. A verbal pronouncement of arrest is just a spelling. Nobody has seen a copy of the agenda. I'm waiting to see the website. So for that, I disagree. They do not have an agenda. So lastly, on my issue, 500,000 United States out of a 26th celebration. Did you guys authorize that? And do you feel comfortable in Liberia that you saw this going 26? Is it justified that the rescue government will be saying they spent 500,000 United States out of a 26th celebration? Did you see any reflection as such? Was there any celebration in Bombay County for 26?
Well, specifically, maybe Bombay County didn't have an elaborate celebration, but I'm told that there was, I think, $2,000 given to the county authorities for July 26th celebration for the children in Bombay. The Monrovia celebration, I didn't see any major package to reflect 500,000. But again, we've requested for the alternate report so that we can review that report and see the specifics and see the detail of that report. Personally, am I satisfied with that? No. I think it was, it's not justifiable. It's not reflective of the action on July 26th. But that's why, again, the devil is in the detail. We need to see a detailed alternate report to determine if it was wisely spent and if it was spent within budget lines.
Okay, Dubai, thank you so much. Anybody wants to follow up before Oliver comes in? Anybody wants to follow up on the points Dubai raised before Oliver can come in? Okay, if there's no follow-up question, then Oliver, it's your turn to you may now interact with the senator. 2 minutes.
Yeah, Mr. Senator, thank you for accepting to be on the platform. And I'm concerned about the issue you raised about the previous government, whether it was the Ellen, it was the Doe. I mean, you didn't mention Doe, whether it was the Ellen Taylor or the WEAS administration in terms of off-budget spending. Now, what will you recommend to your colleagues at the legislature what would you recommend to your colleagues as a remedy to stop this issue of off-budget expenditure? That's my first question.
I didn't hear anything on that question. You are completely off.
Okay, Oliver, just 1 minute. Senator, I think you're wearing an earpiece. And I think
Nope.
that's what the problem. No earpiece? Okay.
Nope. Yes, man.
But you don't have any Bluetooth around you?
Well, I can call this off. Maybe if it's giving problems.
Yeah. That's where I think the problem is from. Yeah. So let's see what we can realize. Otherwise, you may not go ahead.
Okay. So, Mr. Senator, I'm concerned about what you mentioned with reference to the previous government and the issue that has to do with off-budget expenditure. Now, what are you going to be recommending to your colleagues to stop this from happening? Because altering the budget is a crime. The budget is a law, and so when people alter a portion of the budget, is equivalent to altering the constitution of our country or any bylaw. So, what personally are you suggesting as a way forward to stop this from happening, so that the next government will not do the same thing?
Well, a group of senators are currently working on a law to speak to that. A group of us are working on a law to prohibit not just this government, any government from doing that. And for the immediate action is specifically mentioned in the budget law. The recast budget law specifically mentioned that there should be no off-budget expenditure or spending, and with all the express approval of the legislature. So for immediate action, we said that in the budget law, but we are now working on a piece of legislation that will serve as a law and will prescribe punishment if there's violation.
Okay, I'll reserve. Austin, I'll reserve until the next conversation.
Okay, Susan, you may not proceed.
Thank you, Senator, for joining us. I'm just going to touch on base what KOK just said regarding the off budget. You said that the senators are putting in place some punishment. Can you please tell us what are some of the punishment that the senators are putting in place? Because like he clearly just said that this is actually unlawful. Like you actually taking a budget without the country concerned or without the senators, it's unlawful. So hearing the amount of money that you have mentioned, the amount of things that Boaka taking, this amount of money just to travel, and the traveling has come. We have not received anything there is nothing beneficial for the Liberian people. So do you mind telling us some of the things that you guys have put in place, so at least we can know that the next government, or even the Boaka or the Joseph Boaka government, can know that these are the steps that you guys are putting in place?
So the strength of any legislator is his or her ability to galvanize numbers, to get your colleagues on board. Mm-hmm. And in getting your colleagues on board, you have to solicit views. So as I speak to you, we still have a basket where we all are chunking our views into. So if there's violation, there should be vote of no confidence. If there's violation, we should recommend dismissal. If there's violation and the president doesn't act, we should suspend the budget line of that agency. So there are different suggestions. So it's all work in progress. So to say to you tonight in this international media that this is what's going to happen, and then that final law comes or you don't see it in it, you want to say, well, Senator Snowe did not tell the truth. So I will appeal to you. I can assure you that there's work in progress. There are a lot of legislation we are putting into place, and you're going to see a lot of legislation coming on the floor as soon as we open. And definitely, once that comes, I will share a copy with Austin. I will give him an advance copy so that we all can have an idea what some of the preventive measures will be putting into place.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Susan, is that all your concerns so far? If that's your only concern, then we can take Michael Gilman, and then Abu will close the chapter, and then I'll come in from there, and then we can advance to the next stage. Mr. Gilman?
Thank you very much, Austin. Again, Senator Snowe, thanks for making the debut program a worthy one, your time and everything. Despite you are out of the country, you are able to make time to be on here.
No problem.
I heard you clearly stated that you're not going to speak on the House of Representatives side of their investigation whatsoever. But most time, the House passes the budget, the Senate concurs or make one or two changes, and the both of them harmonize, and the budget passes. The House did her own investigation, and in her recommendation, they decided to punish the secretary and clerks. The Senate investigation, there's no punishment for anybody in the recommendation. How do you reconcile that? The House was able to find one or two persons, though they didn't punish themselves. But a member of the parliament, Clarence Garr, is the whistleblower. He's not happy with what he saw in the budget. Musa Hassan Belete walked out of plenary and telling his colleagues, God will punish you for what you're doing in here. Yeke Koluba is not happy. He's saying the corruption starts in the legislature. You're not happy with even the report or the process. You told us clearly that you were not, nobody can convince you that the budget was not altered. So how do you feel about this whole thing? Are you satisfied with both reports or the report from the Senate?
Fortunately for me, I've served in both houses.
Correct.
As member of the House of Representatives and as now member of the Liberia Senate. And when you normally hear people say the Senate is a house of elders, it means a lot in a lot of ways. So sometimes, maybe, I don't know if you have benefited from that, but sometimes when we misbehave and our parents punishing us, if our grandparents are around, we run to our grandparents and they shield us.
Yeah.
They don't shield us because they don't like us or they don't approve of the punishment. But sometimes you say to the child that when the child wastes palm oil, leave that child, let the child waste water. Then when you punish the child for the water, you think that water, but that palm oil punishment you're giving the child. So my thing is the Senate, the way the Senate operates is different from the House. I like the House though. I mean, they're very proactive, they're very aggressive in most of the stands and all of that. But the Senate is different. And I don't think it comes from a point of weakness. It's just being the House of Elders. And sometimes we do it differently. I don't know, and I like to tread on very careful lines when dealing with the House of Representatives and the Senate because the Constitution gives both houses the right to prescribe their own rules for their governance, provided those rules are not in contravention of the Constitution. So the House has their own rules. They all have their own way of adopting reports or formulating reports. I will speak to the Senate. The Senate did it differently, and like I said, any member of the legislature, your strength is in numbers. And once you don't have the numbers, sometimes you do what you call legislative filibustering. So you want the camera to focus on you. So I've never been that kind of legislature. I always want to win the numbers. I want the numbers on my side to make my point and make the case. Walking out of session, filibustering when you don't have the numbers on you is only there for the air sometimes. Sometimes you don't really mean it or you want to achieve it, but you want to filibuster. I don't believe in legislative filibustering. I believe in getting the number, galvanizing the number. For example, I chaired a committee on hydrocarbon. The chairman of the LEC board was invited for information hearing before the committee was played on Senator Simeon Taylor. He refused. We wrote him, he refused. The vice president called him, the president told him to come, he refused. And when I told him, he finally came to me. I said to him, you will remain suspended, will not touch your confirmation hearing, you will do a public apology, publish it in the paper. And some people thought it was too hard. Some people say, oh no, it's too much for the man. Please don't fuck up. The Senate is almost divided into two halves. People didn't support it, a lot of people didn't support it, but I was able to make my case to my colleagues. And when it was time to vote, every senator voted for my position to agree with what I said. So that's what a legislator will do. Working on a session, having press conference after the fight. Sometimes it's for the public space. So I believe in looking for the numbers, and that's what I would do. So again, the House did it differently. They reached a different decision, a different conclusion. We did it differently. We reached a different conclusion. I can say to you now, whether we like it or not, I mean, sometimes you say the minority may have their way, but the majority will have their way. So sometimes you do it differently, but that's how it is in the legislature.
My follow up.
Yes, please go ahead.
The House voted yay, nay. The Senate voted yay, nay. Did they do that so as to not hold anybody, any particular person responsible for the way they voted? Because yay, nay, that noisy vote.
Well, like I said, I'm out of the country. So today, when the budget was voted upon, it was yay and nay. I got that information from my Senate colleagues. If I was there, I would have opposed it. And if it was challenged, I would have had remedies under the law. Unfortunately, I did not participate in that vote, so I don't have standing to challenge whatever took place today. But I wish it was done for the record so that we all know who voted for the budget, what was the position on the budget, because the budget is the biggest annual law that the government passed every year on an annual basis. So that law reflects the will and aspiration of our people. And if the budget vote is yea and nay, and our people don't have the necessary coming back with the goodies to our people, the necessary aspirations are not met, how do you hold your legislator, your senator, or your representative responsible when anybody could tell you, say, well, it doesn't go good, or tell you, say, I voted nay, or if it goes good, say, I voted yea. There's no record to prove. So I think it was a wrong decision, but again, that's what happened today. And that's how the legislature works sometimes.
Thank you.
So briefly, a follow up briefly on the yea and nay vote, please, Mr. Austin. Now, Senator Senator Snowe, when you were initially a representative before becoming a senator, your colleague today, DeLon, said the Senate was the economy was in a toilet. He was a fast critic of the work you did. When you were explaining today, you said when the finance minister came in, he was never allowed to explain the issue of budget spending. DeLon said he wanted evidence from you. Today, now he's a believer of evidence. I'm saying to you, as a recipient of DeLon unscrupulous criticism, and as a Liberian patriot, as a senator who understands governance, despite the fact that you are out of the country, can you clearly and unequivocally call DeLon and others or and tell them that their actions today were wrong for you to be voting on a budget where you have people dying every day as a result of sea level rise? We saw what happened in Morovia, alarming wave of aggressive rain, unusual rain pattern. You see car issues everywhere, no roads, and people are making a budget where there is a lot of shit. Ministry of Public Works use 20 million recklessly, no accountability. But in the recast budget, their budget have been increased, and today people are voting nay. Can you, as a senator, given your criticism of the law in the past, can you point he and Yumbi Kanga out that their vote today was wrong and that they should be judged wrongly by the Liberian people? Can you unequivocally say what your position is in specific reference to the law and Yumbi Kanga?
Well, in my politics, in my legislative work, I respect the views and opinions of others. I'm not one of those that will criticize people for expressing their views, because I do express my view. I'm very opinionated about things, and I express my view. And you know the story about Paul and Saul and Paul. You know that story. But I would tell you a short story on this. For example, when I was speaker, Augustine Gaffan was the director of the budget. And in that first year, one of Madam Salif's agenda was to put the Bureau of the Budget under Ministry of Finance. And even though I was an opposition speaker, but Mr. Gaffan came to my office and gave me compelling reasons why Budget Bureau should not be under Ministry of Finance. And he convinced other legislators like Emmanuel Nokwe, I think they went to be there all together, Bill Traore, they were all there. And he really made a good argument. And we voted against the decision of Madam Salif to put the Budget Bureau under Ministry of Finance. Fast forward, Gafan became Minister of Finance, and the same law came back to put the Budget Bureau on the Ministry of Finance. And the same Gafan came back and gave us compelling argument why the Budget Bureau should go on the Ministry of Finance. So in politics, sometimes it depends on seeing the glass half full or half empty, or you in a plane. It depends which window you're sitting on. You see different combination of the cloud. So today, Dillon is a member of the ruling party. I respect his being a member of his presence or his membership to the ruling establishment. I'm in the opposition. I show he respect mine. So I won't come out and condemn his action. I disagree with him. We have diverse view, but he's entitled to his view, and so am I entitled to mine.
Okay, Mr. Gilman, Mr. Gilman, Durana Dubayu, Oliver Khan, we see our colleague Abu is still struggling to join the team tonight. We might just maybe in the closing minute.
I think Abu trying the new
tier
data.
1-2. So I don't know, but I will close the interaction with you, Senator, and I would like you to be specific on some issues and very, very firm and specific on some issues. For you, when people hear you speak, and you say clearly that there is nothing in this war or on this earth or in this country that will convince you that the budget was not altered. This is coming from an Edwin Melvin Snowe, a senator of Bombing, a very experienced legislator. And you will say there is nothing that can convince you that the budget was not altered. It means there is nothing that can convince you that the law was not violated. But to conclude, you are sounding very reluctant when it comes to talking about penalty for those who alter the budget. People listening to you and those in the audience may think that this is just the normal filibustering that all of you do in the legislature. You come to the public and you say, yeah, this is wrong. This was done wrongly. But when it comes to talking about being firm on penalty for those who are perceived to be the violator, you sound very reluctant. I mean, how do you respond to my intuition? For me, I'm concerned about that.
I love your your position. I love your all your adjectives and your description of me and my experience. I love that. But before I came on your show, I was backstage and I heard you talking about the Gloria Musu Scott case.
Mm-hmm.
And almost everybody on the panel disagreed with the decision of the Supreme Court. Everybody believed that there was foul play. But what the law of Liberia says the Supreme Court is a final arbiter of justice. And when the Supreme Court renders a decision in Liberia, you can't take appeal anywhere. That decision is final. So the same law says the plenary of the House of Representatives or the Liberian Senate is the final decision-making body. When the plenary votes, I can stand on top of Ominga Tower and say to you, I said to you that I believe the budget was altered. I've never changed my position on that. I've never changed my position. I strongly believe the budget was altered. I believe there was foul play. But there was a committee set up and we subjected ourselves to that committee. I attended the hearings of the committee. The committee came out with a report and said the budget line was shifted, but the budget wasn't altered. And plenary has voted on it. So if I come out to you today on the show, Austin, and I shout the loudest and say, oh no, I even take off my clothes and run down Waterside, it's not going to change it. Did I say to you that the budget wasn't altered? No, I still believe the budget was altered. But the fact that plenary has voted on it and say it wasn't altered, anything else I say is exactly what he's talking about. It will be filibustering. You can't go and challenge the decision of that to the Supreme Court because it violated no law. There was due process, there was investigation conducted, vote was taken, and majority of the senators believed that the budget wasn't altered. and the vote they outnumbered us. So I don't know what else can I say that will convince you that I'm not filibustering or that I'm in agreement with them. I don't agree with the report. But as a legislator for over 19 years of my life, it's just simple for me to know that once the vote is taken and that vote is passed, there's no motion or reconsideration, and the vote is passed, it goes in the journal of the Liberian Senate. It's the final decision of the plenary. There's nothing I can do about it, my brother.
Yeah, Senator. Just to follow
Senator,
up.
you were in the legislature. You were in the legislature when there were similar conversations about shifting money. I remember when Amara Conan was a finance minister, this issue came up in the legislature, and all of that was shifting money from one place to another place. Now, don't you think Liberia will feel more comfortable when they hear a senator like Edwin Snowe calling on Joe Barker, the president of our country, for all of this makes people who are culpable for altering the budget or shifting without reverting to the legislature, or for carrying out 2.2 million of budget spending, or for appropriating 100K on Mr. Barker's credit card. These are great financial misdeeds. These are great financial, pleasant financial transactions taking place in the Barker government. Just 10 months under Joe Barker, these things are happening. You hearing Mr. Snowe saying, we think this person should not be at the Ministry of Finance for this action, or the Ministry of Finance must take responsibility. Then saying, y'all go sleep. They forget it. Like was done in the case of the Minister of Public Works. He admits to spending 20 plus million, no PPC, outside the PPCC law, outside the PFM law. They say, okay, we hear you. Say, yeah, may we hear you. Don't do it. Go. Don't do it again. It seems that it is repeating itself, and people like you are not sounding framed. You're not being radical. You're not being consistent and engaging these people to ensure that some drastic actions. We're concerned about drastic actions, and just saying because the Senate vote. So as Senator Snowe, I will not say anything because the Senate majority voted. In my mind, that doesn't solve the problem.
So Austin, I'm sorry that I may sound very disappointing to the panelists tonight. And I apologize for that. But I think I come with governmental experience. I've come here. I've served in the legislature. I've seen it all. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. I was telling my wife a few days ago that when I joined the legislature in 2005, 2006, I had this habit. Every time I got out from my car, even though I was speaker, I would jog up the stairs to my office. Today, when I'm going to session, I have to hold a rail to climb because all the knees now get old. When I joined the legislature, I didn't have beard. Today, all my beard have turned gray. So the way that others could behave or act to certain things, I would do it differently. Do I agree with the report? No. And I don't know what else can I say. Do I agree with the report? I don't agree with the report. But I respect the report because that's the voice, that's the vote of the plenary. Now, if I stood up now and say, I don't agree with the report, Mr. Becker can't fire mother than that buying $100,000 car. He will fire somebody when Edwin Snowe say fire the person. And you really think that will help the it won't help, it will just be Edwin Snowe talking, causing noise. So for me, I try now to calculate the usage of my legislative oversight and power. And how do I do that? I mobilize the numbers. I look for numbers on the floor. And when I take a particular line, I look for the numbers, I advocate, I talk to my colleagues, and I get my numbers. So again, Austin, I don't know do I agree that the budget wasn't altered? No, I don't agree. I believe the budget was altered. But if you say to me tonight, what will please you is for me to go and tell Joseph Brecker, fire them because they altered the budget. You think he'll fire them? Or you just want me to say that? Go say tomorrow morning to make you happy, but not happy. The people, LRA and Modal Divine Methods money that the Brecker campaign against us to win the election, and nothing happening. That means we'll go tell and say fire somebody, fire the person.
No, Senator, I don't think it's about firing. Let me just come in for 30 seconds.
So Dubai, you want me? So we'll allow rather Dubai to come in for at least 30 seconds, and then we're going to shift the conversation to our next topic.
Can I just come in, Austin?
Rather will come in before you,
Yeah,
Susan.
yeah. So, it's not about Boga dismissing these people. We understand how happily Mr. Boga is in his recklessness. We know that, and we appreciate it we appreciate him for that. We are saying for you as Senator Snowe, I listen to you. When you appear on Spoon and you express your profound regret, it's about your words here on the APM terminal. You were a lawmaker when that bad deal was signed, and you said you regret and you hope not to see similar situation happen to Liberia again. This budget in my mind is the resuscitation, is the rebirth of another APM terminal. Because in this budget, we are seeing the legislature budget originally was 53.7 million. Now 4 million has been increased, 4.5 million has been added there. We see the Ministry of Finance budget, 12 million has been added. We have seen additional 3 million on the Vice President office, 300,000. Is it a situation of give and take, or is it the situation of you sitting in your house, something wrong happening today, Liberians are suffering from APN terminal decision? Why, if this budget turned out to be the next APN terminal, then after some time you come back and say you regret? So it's not about you saying Boga with dismissing or not. It's about you being affirmative in terms of the promise you made to the Liberian people. That's the question we're asking you.
No, you're comparing day and night. It's not the same, sir. On the APN terminal, I voted for the APN, the passage of that law. I voted for it, and it's not serving the Liberian people as expected. So I've expressed my regret that I voted in favor of this. It's not living up to the will and aspiration of our people. On this budget alteration, I disagree that the budget wasn't altered. I believe strongly the budget was altered. So if it goes wrong tomorrow, I will stand up like I'm standing over you. Unfortunately, I'm not taking the line you expect me to take, to go on top of the Omega Tower and say, oh, hill, the budget was altered, dismiss the people. That's the only thing I'm not doing. But I'm telling you in clear terms that I believe the budget was altered. I believe what it did was wrong. I believe the action was wrong. I've said everything. The only thing I'm not doing, the advocacy role, when you are a young legislator or you are a young politician, sometimes you miss the line between being a leader and being an advocate. You can't occupy those two positions at the same time. I'm one of the leaders in the legislature, one of the leaders in the country. The way I will handle things to have the same result, it wouldn't be the way you will handle it to have the same result. We may handle it differently, but we can get to the same result. I'm saying to you again that I believe the budget was altered. I'm saying to you again that the recast budget is not satisfactory as to the reflection of the will and aspiration of the Liberian people. I'm saying to you, if I was in Liberia today, even if it was a yea and nay vote, I would have been one of those saying nay because I would have voted against the budget. You want me to say, I don't know what else you want me to say, Chief. I'm sorry for disappointing you, but I have said everything that I can say. It's like you say, let's go pray. One man say, I will lay down on the ground, God will hear me. Other man say, I will stand up, God will hear me. Other man say, I will sit down, God will hear me. That's the thing God will pray into. We all agree that the budget will alter, but you want me to say it and address it the way will make you satisfied that, yes, this opposition senator is making. I don't agree with that, Chief. The budget was altered. I believe it was altered, but what else can I do?
Okay, Susan, just you wanted to come in for a few seconds. We'll give you that those few seconds to interact with the senator, and then we can move on to our next topic.
Yes, just to what the senator is saying here, he's saying that he believed the budget was altered. You keep saying that, and you cannot go the other way around that we want, which is the advocacy level, because once you are a leader, you cannot advocate. What we're expecting you to do is to maybe just a little push from your end, because here you are saying that, oh, you cannot do anything about this. You cannot do anything. But every year, something is happening. And we have tons of Liberians that are hungry. We have children on the streets. when I shared the flyer that you were coming, I remember one of my good friends coming in my inbox and saying that, okay, Senator Snowe is just coming out there to just repeat the same thing because he's not being affected by anything. He has his home, he has, everything running for him. But here we are, we have Liberians on the street, and with this amount of money that we're hearing here is just very huge. Yes, majority carry the rule, Senator. Yet what we want you to do, you cannot do it. But then what can you do to make it better? What can you do at least to soften the hearts of many Liberians that are suffering? Because we cannot continue being in this rotation of I cannot do anything because majority carry the rules. Because this will continue and continue and continue. And every government that comes in power, it will be the same thing. So I'm pretty sure that's what the guys are saying here. And for me, again, tonight, I'm not seeing that zeal that, okay, the senator wants this to happen. He wants this to happen. He really wants that change. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from you on this platform.
So Susan, let me say this to you, if I
Yeah.
may. Let me say this to you. So last year there was presidential election in Liberia. We made a case, or I helped to make a case, that Joseph Boyka was not the best option for Liberia, and call on Liberians to re-elect George Weah the second term, that he would do better for the second term. 50.something% of Liberians disagree with me, and they voted for Joseph Boyka, and Joseph Boyka became president. And today he's president. Should I say because I didn't vote for him or because I didn't want him, so I should say he's not a president? He's a president. If we have election tomorrow morning and you put Joseph Boyka and George Weah on the ballot, I'll vote for George Weah. But that doesn't mean Boyka is not the president. He is the president. The point I'm making to you, Susan, do I believe that something went wrong? Yes. Am I satisfied with the way things are going? No. But I'm part of a whole. I'm part of a whole. And maybe what you want me to do, my approach to doing it, look, my late father used to tell me, the ants we kill, it got intestine, it got liver, it got heart, it got everything. The way you will kill it, you will find all of those things inside. But we just say, let's step on the ant, we'll step on the ant, you'll find anything in it. So I'm saying to you, you and I saying the same thing. If you were on the air tonight saying the budget was altered, and then I come out and say the budget wasn't altered, then we are on different wavelength, different lane. But you agreed or you believe that the budget was altered. I believe the budget was altered. The only diversions tonight we are having is that you're not hearing that exuberance. You're not hearing that strong voice of Edwin Snowe. I'm not going to have press conference. I'm not saying, oh, fire the people. That's the only thing you don't hear tonight. But I believe the budget, everything you say wrong, you and myself on the same page. Except that the way you want me to do it, I'm not doing it that way. That's the only dissatisfaction we have tonight.
Okay, guys, so we have to go across the table. But before we go across the table, our next topic, let's remind you that this is Freedom Heart Talk on 87.9 in Morovia and relay on all our platforms across the country.
Okay.
Yes.
I just call you, the name of the show is Hard Talk, and I'm not talking too hard. Okay, let me talk a little hard.
Your line muted again,
Your
Senator.
line
We
is
didn't hear you
muted
that
again.
time.
Your line is muted again, so you have to to all of our panelists, all of our panelists, please mute your microphones, and then Senator Snowe, you have to unmute your microphone. Okay, I see he's trying to unmute his microphone. So yes, we're not still hearing you.
He's not hearing us either.
Okay, I hope the Bluetooth didn't resurface.
Oh, my Bluetooth
okay.
off.
Okay.
Okay,
Now
we're getting you.
You are good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, you are sounding hard. Let's hear what you said.
Let's hear your hard talk.
Maybe let's go to the next topic. Maybe I warm it up. Let's go to the next topic and see what happens there.
Okay, to all of our panelists, please mute your microphones as we engage, as we go to our next transition to our next topic. But folks, we'd like to remind you that the Voice of Liberia 89.7 is relaying this broadcast in Margibi County, and Voice of Liberia 90.7 in Bangabon County is also relaying this broadcast. Radio Wologisi 87.9 in Lofa is also relaying DTV online. Speak Up Liberia, Jida Hard Talk, all of these platforms are really streaming our broadcast tonight live across the world. And this program is proudly sponsored by Crime Stopper Liberia in association with Radio Entertainment Liberia and Zeke Customers, the t-shirt that Oliver Khan is wearing tonight. So those of you playing our cash giveaway, again, just keep playing. We're going to do your job once our guest leaves us. There's the code is *79 hash. You send and wait for a few seconds and enter 11 and send and wait for a few seconds. Two options will appear to you. Option number 1 is requiring you to play in US dollars, and option number 2 is requiring you to play in LD. And whichever option you enter, you send and wait for a few seconds and enter your mobile money password. It's a bingo for you. You just pause, waiting to be to receive your alert that you have won for yourself 5,000 Liberian dollars. A courtesy of Radio Entertainment Liberia, one of our partners on the show. And we're also encouraging all of you who may want to do business with us. The platform is open to you to join us and do business together. Now, Senator Snowe, we like to bring in this. Our next conversation is on the level of mass dismissals we're seeing across the country. And not just only mass dismissal, but there are people who are even serving the country but are being denied their just benefit. For example, those on foreign service. People were legitimately employed and posted at different missions. They say over now, close to 10 months, they have not been paid by the government of Liberia. Liberia civil servants here are being dismissed because of affiliation and association, all of that. People believe that the Senate or the legislature has not been too firm again or rigorous with oversight. So this is going to be our next conversation, and I think I want us to begin the conversation with the only female on the panelist tonight. Susan, you want to pick up from this end? What do you, how do you want to start your engagement with the senator?
What was it you were saying, Austin? I didn't get that clear. Please, can you
Okay, I think your mic was unmuted. So we are on the issue of mass dismissal in public service. So the senator is listening to your engagement. You have 1 minute 30 seconds to engage the interact of the senator.
Just pass me. Somebody else can come in on that one.
Okay. Okay. So we can begin with Ronald Dubai.
Talking to me.
So Ronald, you want to kick start mass dismissal?
Yeah. So, Mr. Senator, you were elected by the people of Bombing, but you are a senator of Liberia. Today we see mass dismissal at the Monrovia City Corporation. A letter was written by the mayor of the Monrovia City Corporation that there were people live on social media disagreeing with the presidency. On that basis, they have committed a heinous crime in his mind to be dismissed. Today, for almost a month, I haven't heard or seen any communication from the Senate. This is talking about somebody like you who have a long years of experience in public service. You were in that country, people from Taylor region, serving other region. It even went on and on and on. Joseph Bogart's son, Joseph Bogart Jr., said in the government of Josh Manewia, today as a senator, as a lawmaker, as a proponent of good governance at ECOWAS, how joyful are you that today you have now uttered a war, having listened to a policy statement from you? I might be wrong in terms of following your Facebook page, and more so, I haven't seen a release or any communication to someone, the Director General of the Civil Service Agency, who in fact was a member of the Bring Back Our Money protest when he was serving in government. Nobody bothered him. Today, Liberia is on the red trajectory. Is that what you are telling us? One. The next thing I want to say, do you think that this budget which the yea and nay, and by extension, you directly and indirectly, you say you disagree or you can do anything. There has been an increase in terms of our wage bill. There has been additional people added on the payroll. People were dismissed because the Unity Party-led government have argued that the payroll is clouded. Even though they said the payroll is clouded, but they have added more people than the previous government. Where do you stand on the end? How long should we wait for a senator like you to take action, or then come in and say, I go against it, but I can't do anything? Is that where your rights and responsibilities stop as a senator?
Hot top. All right, so let me just say this. I've spoken on this on the Senate floor. I think it was Senator Joseph or McGill that raised the issue, and one of the senators that condemned it. The issue, the action on the part of the Civil Service Director General dismissing Liberians for expressing their view can never be accepted. I think I even spoke on the OKFM. Yeah, on OKFM, I had an interview with Julius J, and I spoke against it, and I'll speak against it today again. I condemn it. It's wrong. It should never be encouraged in Liberia. Never be encouraged. I mean, people should express themselves freely. People should support the other leaders that they believe in, and the contrary if they so desire. So yes, I've spoken against it. Maybe on your platform you didn't see it there, or you didn't hear it there, or maybe I didn't do an official Facebook post like you say. But the subject came out on the Senate floor, and I condemn it. I was interviewed on OKFM, and I condemn it. And I'm on your airwaves tonight again, and I'm condemning it. I don't support it. It's wrong. It should never be allowed in Liberia. It should never be given space in our democratic process in Liberia.
Yeah, Senator, it is now you see, we the advocate is our role to condemn. We do not have that legislative and legal authority to make things happen. So how does it benefit Liberians who are in absolute destitution, struggling to survive? And we only stop at the point of condemnation. When do we transgress to the point of action, to the point of punishment, of safeguarding the Liberian workforce? And then we're talking about condemn. The point is, it's not about condemnation. What action? What the law says? You are a lawmaker for 19 years. What the law say about people being discriminated based on your sex, creed, and religion? What does the law say in terms of your son, the Abdullah Kamara Act, decriminalizing free speech, and that has been violated by the executive? When does the executive action accumulate into an impeachable offense? When does the executive be summoned to your house to come and say, "Look, you are into governance excesses," right? When do we get to that point other than just condemnation?
Well, there was an action taken by the Senate. I even think the Director General was called, and the Senate requested him to reverse the decision. I think it was. I don't think those people are still dismissed. Are they?
They are dismissed. They have never been called. No, they are dismissed. Alpha Grade is dismissed. I can tell you for sure.
All of them.
I can follow up on that, but I know that I attended a meeting in the Senate where the action was reversed. If you say nothing has happened, then that's news to me, and I can follow up. I'm out of the country, but I can get my staff in my office to investigate that first thing tomorrow morning, and I will let you know the feedback. But there was legislative action, especially from the side of the Senate, to have those people reinstated, and we condemn the action of Mr. Josiah Jacket on his action. We did condemn it.
Okay, thank you, Dubayu. Mr. Gilman?
Yeah, thank you very much, Austin. And again, Senator Snowe, thank you for being here with us. Before I go to the issue of mass dismissal, I think I can speak for everybody here on the issue of the Shalom Musu murder. Nobody on this platform disagree with the Supreme Court ruling. None of us disagree. We said we wanted justice for Shalom, and that Gloria Musu's cat can launch an investigation. The government can launch an investigation, but we all agree with the Supreme Court ruling. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. On the issue of mass dismissal, I know you will not go into the House of Representatives, but the Speaker of the House of Representatives said on record that the CSA is not supported by the Constitution as per the 1986 Constitution, that it was relying on a 1970 Constitution. And the 86 Constitution says that there should be commission and not agency. So the government of Liberia today is funding an entity not supported by the law. Taxpayers' dollars are being paid to a director who is not supported by the law. What is the legislature doing to ensure that the CSA, the Civil Service Agency, is brought in compliance with the Constitution? And I heard the condemnation from everywhere, but that is not enough. Thousands of people are without jobs. Are there people?
Just a quick interruption, Mr. Gibbon. I want us to restrict our question to the senator, and not to the senator does not speak for the Senate or the legislature. So let's gauge his opinions on these different issues instead of asking to speak for the legislature.
Here's my question: are there citizens of Bomi County that came to you and said they were dismissed? And what did you do?
You said citizens from Bomi County came to me and said they were dismissed?
Yeah.
When?
Do you know of anybody? Did anybody come to you to complain that they were dismissed?
You see, my brother, you don't have to be citizens of Bomi County to come to me. Any Liberian should do that.
Has that happened?
If any Liberian come to me and tell me that they were wrongfully dismissed, I will investigate, and if it is true, I will ensure that that person is reinstated. I will, but let's go back. Even though Austin said don't talk about the House of Representatives, but let's go back, my brother. You know, government is a very big institution. Now, last year there was CSA that we all agreed to work with. This year, in a new government will say no, CSA is illegal. But who's going to make CSA right? The legislature. Have we now said there should be a civil service commission as mentioned in the Constitution? So I believe the Director General of CSA is very political. I think he's very overzealous. And I think most of his actions don't speak well of the entity that he runs. But the way to do it is to shut down CSA because the Director General is acting wrongly. No. That would not be my approach. My approach would be different. My approach would be to call him to books and correct him. My approach would be tomorrow morning to see a legislation sponsored by the Speaker or by any member of the House or any member of the Senate proposing the formation of the Civil Service Commission as inscribed in the Constitution of Liberia. That would be my approach.
Mr. Gibbon, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Since Abu just joined, Abu, I'm sure you settled now. So you want to come in from the mass dismissal thing? It's an opportunity to interact with the senator. You have 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Thank you very much, Austin, and of course, Senator Snowe. It's good to have you. And I have been having some real tough technical challenges, but it's good to be here. And beginning. Are you getting me?
Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
The senator said he's not getting me. I don't know where the problem is coming from.
Okay, okay, Abu, you want to look at your microphone or the senator?
Yeah, but the fact that the rest of the other panelists are getting me,
1 minute,
there
Abu,
should be a
1 minute.
problem with the other. But maybe you can relate my question.
Yeah,
no, Abu, just 1 minute. Senator, your microphone is muted again.
No, it's on. I can hear him.
Okay, yes, it's on. Abu, go ahead.
Is it better now?
Yes, it's better. Abu, please go ahead.
All right. So, Senator, I've listened to you quite well.
Okay, gentlemen, is that Abu will just not yeah, Abu can make it. He try, but he can make it. Yeah, he get love, but he not make it. So Oliver, please continue from your end.
Mr. Senator, my concern on this issue of dismissal has to do with uh, Liberians who were posted on the foreign mission by the past administration. The WIA's administration had a lot of our people were assigned to the different missions across, the continent and other places. This administration decided to recall them because, according to a release from the foreign ministry, they were not properly, recruited and posted across the different embassies. You, as a senator who has been deeply involved with the foreign, service of our country, you've been on the foreign committee for so long. You are the ECOWAS Parliament. Have you been able to look into this matter? As we are told, bulk of them are returning home because, according to some folks within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the process leading to their appointment across the different embassies, the process was not, appropriately followed. Were you able to take your time to hear some of their complaints, to look into it? That's one. Number two, the people at the Ministry of Transport. The current minister was a deputy minister under the WIA's administration. Over 107 Liberians were recruited, appointed, given letter of appointments with bank accounts at the level of the CSA. Today, Salif Tyler, the former deputy minister under the previous administration, signed a communication to have these people dismissed from their positions. What is your position on those two issues?
On your first concern, Senator Sir Joseph raised that issue on the Senate floor. Sir Joseph is a co-chair on the Committee on Foreign Affairs, of which I'm also a member of. We had a meeting with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and told her that the action was wrong and that those people should be paid. Have there been a follow-up on it? I need to investigate to see if there was a follow-up, but we at the Liberian Senate, we disagree with the action of the government not to pay our people on foreign assignment, as raised by Senator Sir Joseph, and he had the full support of the plenary. On the issue of Salif Tyler at the Ministry of Transport, believe you me, I'm hearing this for the first time. I've never heard about this. And if this is true, then it's very alarming, but I will definitely follow up on it.
So if follow up to this issue, the folks on the different foreign mission are their employment has been terminated by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is no longer an issue of their salaries being paid. It's about they being recalled by this government on ground that they were not properly recruited. Now, Honorable Snowe, Madam Jiwer Gray is currently at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the minister was deeply involved in the past administration on the issue that has to do with the recruitment of these people. Now, how was somebody who was part of the recruitment of these people in a different administration also sign a communication to have these people recalled on the basis of the same process?
Well, whether Jiwer Gray was there or not, the fact that those people were recruited by the Liberian government, they were posted by the Liberian government. They did not go there on their own. The government is fully responsible for them. So redeploying them, well, any government can redeploy foreign service officials, but not to pay them and to just dismiss them arbitrarily is wrong, and we'll condemn it. Some of the things, believe me, you'll be surprised to know, and I'm sure you know, you guys in the media, you hear more than us. Some of the things you hear it, most of the time on the floor of the legislature, our argument is based on media reports. So again, I have some people that I know that were assigned to those places. I know the issue was they being strangulated, they were not paid, and we raised the issue and we follow up on it. Now you're seeing they're being recalled without being paid and dismissed. That's something that we definitely have to follow up on. I will talk to Senator Sir Joseph immediately after this show to find out exactly what is happening about that.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Susan, are you ready to come in, or we should bring in Mr. Gilman?
Oh, bringing Mr. Gilman. We're still on the same topic, right? The same.
Yeah, sure. Dismissal.
Yeah, dismissal. Okay, bring Mr. Gilman on.
Mr. Gilman, please go ahead.
Thank you, Senator. Please, I know you will say we're beating a dead horse. The We can't do away with the CSA because we have it, but there must be something that the Liberian people can go to bed with. Thousands of people are dismissed, the hardship everywhere, and we are looking at monies being spent in Parliament, which we'll call the distribution of the Liberian people wealth among 103 people. Even to some extent, your staffers don't even benefit for special sitting fees, or they got to protest and all of that. But you senators and representatives, you don't protest for your special sitting fees. But those staffers come to work and they work with you, see everything done. Uh, what can we go to bed with that our lawmakers are making sure that this illegal mass dismissals do not continue? People, they are now telling people that they're not going to pay them through mobile money. They must go to traditional banking sector. When do all of these people get involved? Mobile money is what? I mean, I don't know. Let's just get your takeaway.
So again, I'm opposed to mass dismissal of Liberians, but you may maybe have not followed. But one thing I've always talked about since this government is the issue of uniting this country. Liberia is divided, and I've always said in my job in ECOWAS, I headed a parliamentary mission in Sierra Leone, where there was a major problem in Sierra Leone between the ruling party and the opposition in parliament. And I had to go there to resolve the problem, to get the parliament to get seated for the president to address the nation. And I know how divided Sierra Leone is. I'm afraid for Liberia. To be honest with you, I'm afraid for Liberia that the way things are going, the way the government is handling things in Liberia, if care is not taken, if we don't put a stop to it, if this government is not re-elected in 2029, whichever government takes over and decide to do what this government is doing, we're going to have crisis. So I'm very concerned about that. I think we're heading in the wrong direction. I think people in the government have been very vindictive. I think the issue about going after seditions and other Liberians that did not support the government. When the president campaigned, he said that he made a commitment to Liberians that there will be no green or blue Liberia. Do I believe that today? No.
No.
I think there is green Liberia. I think that people from other political parties, there has been no one major opposition leader appointed in this government. No one from the opposition that I know of, all right, other than people that supported this government. So the direction the country is going in is of concern. And we need to, and that's why some of those responses that you don't hear me putting gas in the fire and whatnot, because we need to manage it. The country is in a serious situation. And anything, if care is not taken, any day we all could have ourselves to blame. So I'm opposed to what is happening, Liberians being dismissed because they are not part of the ruling party or the ruling establishment. You have foreign staff in out of the country representing your country, they're being dismissed and they record without being paid, without the proper modalities and logistical arrangement put into place for the repatriation. Those are wrong signs from the government. And we need to put a stop to it. How do we do it? Should we all do it by going on top of Omega Tower? No. Some of us will speak on it like we're doing now. Some of us will write. Some of us will have meetings. But it's wrong. What is happening in Liberia is we may take it for granted. But if any other party, for example, if the CDC wins the election look, when President Weah won the election in 2017, I didn't support him. I never supported him. But he won the election. And he did not go after people like this government is doing. He was not vindictive. He didn't run after people like what's happening today in Liberia. And we enjoy 6 years of peace. I mean, to a relatively, I would say, to reasonable amount of peace we enjoy. The way things are happening now, if care is not taken after 6 years, we will go to a blue and green or blue and red or whatever Liberia we're going to have, and it's just not good for the country. So I'm very concerned when I hear about mass dismissal now. You talk about, for example, someone talk about increase in the wage bill. We were talking about putting people down, laying people off, civil servants looking for good sleep and people. So by right there, we should be making some savings on the wage bill. Unfortunately, we are adding more money to pay civil servants. It definitely tells you that more employment going on in government and partisans are being employed to the disadvantage of the opposition, which is not right. So those are some of the things that we need to talk about. How do we do it? Should we go on top of Omega Tower? I wouldn't do that, but I will speak about it. I will write about it. I will have meetings about it. I will have consultations about it, and we'll condemn it.
Can I comment, Austin?
Yes, please do. Please do.
I thought I wanted to pass that topic, but hey, I just have to touch base. It's just a little. Senator Snowe, with the whole mass dismissal, you said that the internet, to our surprise, the internet bring out more information, which I'm really surprised about because we kind of get our information from on that end. But the whole mass dismissal here is that there are other young boys that that have gone through that experience, that went through it. And I was able, for me, I'm on the social media all the time. I receive messages and stuff like that. Sadly, I'm not working in the government. You being in the government, if anyone is in that position, what is the best way to get through Senator Snowe? Because you are a high-profile senator, so it's not going to be easy to, you have your own life, and that's the thing people don't know on social media. Once you're out here in the public, people think everything is just right there, but you have your own life. So if anyone is in that place, because I remember 2 months ago there were protests on in Liberia regarding this topic. So if you're not aware of it, how can somebody who in the position who wants justice come through you? Like, what's the way? Because we know that you cannot do anything about it, or what we want you to do, you cannot do. So what help can you give to the people who are in this situation currently?
I can tell you tonight, I want politicians that even call my telephone number on the radio. I do that all the time. My number is 0777 660-800. I've had that number now for more than 10 years. I've never changed it. 0777 660-800. Also knows that number. I've had that number forever. He knows it. He will tell you about it. And if there are issues of such, I will encourage them to stop by my office. Even if I'm not there, I have a very effective or efficient office staff. They will take note of it, and I will flag the issue. And I'm serious about that. I'm opposed to Liberians being dismissed because of their political affiliations. I'm opposed to it. I'm fundamentally opposed to it. And if any Liberian that I know being dismissed because of political reasons, or because they say, according to them, you insulted the president, I will advocate for that person through my leadership role to make sure that that person's rights is restored. And I can give you that commitment. That's my telephone number. I just give you. My email address is Melvin Snowe, MELVINSNOWE, one word, @gmail.com. Never change my email address. Like I said, I'm one of the few politicians that go on the radio. Everybody in Birmingham County knows my telephone number. I go on the radio and call my number every day. I don't have my number for anybody. You call me now on WhatsApp, the number I just gave you, not just my telephone, but it's also my WhatsApp number. Anywhere in the world I go, that's a WhatsApp number that I use. So if you know of anyone that have that situation, please let me know about it, or let the person contact me, and I promise you, the person will get back to you and tell you what I've done.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, thank you so much for the civilized manner we've been engaged in. Even though Senator Snowe says, I think he's getting overwhelmed by age and all of that. So the way he used to be more forceful and rigorous, he can do that now. But I think we'll still push him to push him to keep pushing in the manner and form that we want to see. So, folks, we are fast. We thought 3 hours was too long, but it's like we've gone on. we've gone 2 hours 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So we have in the last 30 minutes of the show, let's wrap up on 2 critical issues that obviously will concern Bombay County and the voting population in Bombay County and the Western region. We want to know, 2029 may seem far, but I think the fact that we have the day passing by each other, it means politicians have already started having pocket discussions about the future of 2029. But before we get to that future of 2029, which we know that Senator Snowe will be a factor in that metric, let's talk about Western Cluster's operations in Bombay. I'm concerned about Western Cluster's operation. At one point in time, the government will say we're suspending your road user permit. After another time, the government will say we are lifting the suspension on your road user permit. Oliver, from what point do you want to come in with Senator Snowe? And I hope we can restrict our consent to question, and the question can be concise. And in at least 10 to 15 seconds, we can be able to ask Senator Snowe our question about Western Cluster's operations, and then we can, because we have to go to the telephone lines to pick calls as well. So, Oliver.
Okay. So, Senator, quickly, the first question is, what role did you play in the Western Cluster deal? Number 2, that particular role, do you regret that role? Or if so, if there are recommendations you ought to make, considering the fact that it is already a deal between the government of Liberia and Western Cluster, what would that recommendation be?
So I'll tell you this, if tomorrow morning the same opportunity avails itself, I will do exactly what I did. Now, politics was being played. I was accused of taking $14 million. Anybody accused of taking $14 million, they don't know what $14 million can do. Because trust me, if I have $14 million, I don't think I will have the time to not be on the show. But anyways, excuse me for my call, I have call. It's not important right now. What is important to me is that when I campaigned in Bombay County in 2017 for the House of Representatives, in 2020 for the Senate, I saw Bombay to prove itself as as the poorest county in Liberia. I saw a county that was lack of investment opportunities. There were no jobs. Very smart people, very, very smart, intelligent young people, but didn't have the opportunity to work, to exhibit their skills. And I saw an agreement that was laying on the shelf, a company holding the iron ore mine without doing anything about it. So we decided to hold discussions with the government and encourage the government, look, if Western Cluster cannot come and operate this mine, then let them relimit the mine so that other investors can come and create jobs for our people. Western Cluster came and said that, look, we have this agreement. We have not operated since Ebola, but the government is charging us taxes every year, even though we file in a force majeure due to Ebola and Corona. The government decided if you're going to come back and in 3 years you can do a railroad, you can build hospitals, you can do schools for our people, you can create jobs for our people, we are prepared. Those years you say you didn't work and we're billing you, we're prepared to waive it so you can come back and create jobs for our people, or pay the county social development fund for those years. Fast forward, that understanding was reached and Western Cluster started for operations in Liberia. I was the first person to start realizing that Western Cluster was not living up to commitments. They were not doing the role as they promised. There were no feasibility studies for a new railroad and a new port, and there were problems. Unfortunately for us, it was just around the election period. We're going for election. So the rescue mission took advantage of that and hammered into the ears of the Western region citizens that Western Cluster was a bad company for Liberia. They were not doing anything for Bombay County, Cape Mine, and Bapuru County. They were not doing the rail. They were not employing our people. And they campaigned vigorously against Western Cluster. Even if I was up for election, I would have been affected because of that campaign against Western Cluster. And it was a bad campaign. So they won the election, new government took over, fast forward. One day they'll come and say, we're stopping Western Cluster because they're not fixing the road. The next day they're lifting the ban on Western Cluster. One day the president goes on the mind and says, people, you're taking our hand, or despoiling our breaches. The next day, they lift the ban on Western cluster. So, like my friend Isaac Do always say on the air, he say you can lie your way into getting power, but you cannot lie your way in maintaining the power. So I think the Western cluster thing has been a big disaster. Today, I'm one of the only persons that in the Bombing County today that is advocating for Western cluster to remain closed until they can do the road for us or begin to do the railroad. But people are now saying we need jobs. The company should operate, and the government have lifted the ban for the company. When we negotiated the Western cluster deal, the agreement was Western Cluster will use 50 trucks a night, making 2 trips a night. That's about 100 loads. Today, Western Cluster is allowed to do 125 trucks a night, making 2 trips. That's 250 loads. So who's actually harming the people? The roads are getting worse. The bridges are being undermined even more. But so I go to bed tonight or every night now and sleep sound that the politics that were used against me and against the CDC-led government for bringing in a company to Liberia to create jobs for our people, the same government are criticized, the same government are giving Western Cluster to go ahead now to operate. So sometimes double standard is not the way to do governance. And it's very unfortunate that, today this government will be talking about allowing Western Cluster to re-up to truck the oil without going through the proper arrangement, living up to their commitments to begin the railroad process and rehabilitate our roads. So it's unfortunate, it's frustrating for me, but such is the time.
Okay, thank you so much. We just been joined by tier 1 who was also basic with other issues. That's how it works here. Once we have the time as for permanent panelists, you will just skip in and render in your thoughts or your opinions or your questions, and then yes, you can want to do something. So we'd like to say welcome. If you are active, you have to unmute your mic. I think we want to give you the privilege to interact with Senator Snowe, and then we'll go to Mr. Gilman, and then Susan will be the last on
Sure.
this topic. And then we can come us.
Sure. Thank you so much, Austin, and great job to all of the panelists. Also, welcome to the show, Senator. It's a great privilege having you. One thing that I definitely admire in your expose concerning the deal is your transparent, ordeal of the entire situation. And this is not unique to you alone. It's unique to a lot of policies that have been done before. Policies have always been a space for continual engagement, reflection. I've read the deal, and in this dispensation, if we're making any deal as such, there are a lot of preliminary aspects. I think the entire deal is almost 200 plus pages. A lot of requisite agreement that were done within a deal would not be something that anybody would do today, and I'm sure you already highlighted that. Going forward, I think if the government cannot take actions on the basis of their campaign with the am I live?
Yes, you're live. Please go
Great.
ahead.
So if the government cannot take actions, given the fact that, from your assumption that most of what was said concerning the Western cluster deal on the basis of political, advantage, what specific role can you play as a senator? And that's because genuinely you think that Western cluster should be closed until some of these agreements are being made. And I think as a senator who's directly with the deal, you serve in the right capacity to lead the advocacy. Is it possible that are there steps that you have taken to ensure that Western cluster is here accountable? Because these are policies they sound to, and they are nationally bounding on them as an institution to ensure that we have adequate opportunity, not just adequate opportunity, but even the social corporate responsibility of the institution have to be looked at. There should be a lot of advancement. There should be a lot of changes. There should be adequate services, even skill building. In this dispensation, it's extremely worrisome to still argue on employment opportunity within an institution that exists in a specific space. And I think all concession agreements have to have some leverage of employment to national skilled worker. So, I'm just concerned to know, are there steps that, that have been in the background to ensure that we have all of these things in place? And the other aspect also, I think you still have a role to play to ensure that the executive is accountable. And I do echo the same sentiment. This morning, I posted that, the government politicized the fight against drugs in our country, made it seem that it was unique to a specific regime. As we speak right now, even the entire agency, the Drugs Enforcement Agency, have no solution for drugs in our country. They have, in fact, all of the leaders of that agency, as we speak right now, they are under executive suspension. We speak louder to the hypocrisy in their advocacy. So, I agree with that statement that is true. But what steps can we look at, to say yes, and there's no said this and he's taking actions?
Well, we've written letters. I can send Austin dozens of letters I've written, even in the last government against Western Cluster. I've written letters in the current government complaining Western Cluster. Nothing major now. Let's also understand that the government is under obligation to respect the sanctity of contracts. So we're not just talking about canceling them, but government also has a road permit user that Western Cluster signed. If they don't live up to the road permit user, you can suspend the license. Excuse me. You can suspend the license from trucking O. And if you stop them from trucking O, technically they cannot do anything. So that's the trump card that government has. So I'm still advocating that, look, we want employment for our people. We want jobs. But let Western Cluster do the right thing. Let them face the rule. I was condemned. My grandmother, my great-grandmother was insulted for this Western Cluster business. And today, the same people that campaign against her are the ones who now telling Western Cluster continue holding your own and spoil the rule. It's unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. But if that's the definition of politics, then we need to redefine politics.
Okay, gentlemen, tonight we'd like to say thanks to all of you for the great interactions. I think it was worth it. And because we are pressed with time, we have to go to the telephone lines to interact with our callers as well. But Senator Snowe, I think I will close the chapter on the questioning and then we'll go to the telephone lines. There's one key issue that I'd like to ask you ahead of 2029 elections. But let me just be direct to you, since you are my senator from Bomi County, because that's my county. So I'd like to ask you this question. Do you want to be president?
What I can tell you in response, Austin, that I will make a very good president of Liberia.
You will make a very good president of Liberia?
Yes, I will.
What does that mean?
It means if I decide I want to be president and the Liberian people can trust me with a vote, I will be a very good president that will transform Liberia, that will take the necessary actions that will elevate Liberia as a country and put us back amongst the community of nations in a respectable fashion. So,
would you prefer contesting as an independent candidate, or you want to consider contesting on a political party ticket?
Well, I've not made a decision to contest or not, but I've made a decision to rejoin my party. If you are aware, I've gone back to the National Patriotic Party. And if I will contest, be a president, vice president, senator, I will be running on the ticket, preferably running on the ticket of the NPP.
So we can now call you an NPP member.
That breaking news, though.
A quick follow-up.
Please do it in a few seconds.
So, Honorable Snowe, in the event where the CDC renominates former President Weah on their ticket, what's going to be your political decision for the presidency by then?
Well, President Weah, if he's nominated by his party, he'll be nominated as a CDC candidate. I'm not a member of the CDC. President Weah is my very good friend. And I also aware that no one political party can win the presidency. So the possibility of alignments and mergers and collaboration and coalition still remains. And if I'm a member of any of those establishment, be a coalition, merger, or whatever political marriage it is, we will respect the outcome of the decision of that marriage. And if I'm not the standard bearer, if I decide to run and I'm not the standard bearer, whoever becomes the standard bearer will have my unconditional support in ensuring that we make a difference for Liberia.
1 second or 2 seconds.
Yeah, Mr. Given, 2 seconds.
2 seconds. So, do we expect to see one presidential candidate from Bapolu, one from Bomi County, 2029, Amara Kone, and you?
Well, I don't know if Amara is running. He has not told me he's running. I have not told you other that I'm running. I just said to you, if I were to make that decision and if the Liberian people could trust me with a vote, I would make a very good president of Liberia.
Okay, folks, thank you. Senator Snowe is always available to us. Once he has the time, you can see he's out of the country, but he's made himself available to interact with us. So that space will always be according him to interact with us, and he's always open to our invitation once he has the time to interact with us. That I can say on his behalf, even though he has not authorized me to say that.
You can say that.
Okay, so we can go to the telephone lines now and begin taking your calls. For those of you in the diaspora, I'm not even announcing the numbers, and the phones are all ringing. So let's go straight to the telephone lines and begin interacting. We'll take the first 3 calls from the diaspora, and then we'll come back to Liberia and interact with the other folks here. Let's hear you on this number from the US.
Hey, Austin, good evening, and good evening to your panelists. And I said good evening to Senator Snowe.
Good evening, sir.
Go ahead. You have 30 seconds each.
I just called to commend you guys, Austin, for the show, the hard talk, and I think I also say a big thanks to Senator Snowe making himself available for the opening of the hard talk. This will be our show. I just say, Senator Snowe, thank you. I was in and out, but I did the last 2 questions to answer for the presidency, and you had to make in my view, you answered it very well. So we'll see 2029. Senator Snowe, maybe when I come to Liberia, I will stop by your office. I will get to Austin. Austin, have my sympathy because say Fidel were your very close friends. Have my sympathy.
Oh yeah. Yes, thank you. He was my best man for my wedding. Hello, good morning. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning.
No, when you call, you have to move away from the monitor. You know, I'm used to the morning show, so I'm saying good morning. But yes, let me say good evening to you. Let's hear you.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm okay. Please go ahead and make your point in 30 seconds.
Yeah, this is Mohammed Sai. I'm calling from Proville, District 17. So, thanks to you, Austin. Thanks, panelists, and that and our incoming president. Thanks much. We're then waiting to, waiting for the kind of, show for the country take place at Federal FM, because some of us were thinking that anyway. Abraham concerns me if the freedom of going to take that time to make us to be thinking about this hour. But when middle class is somehow there, to follow.
Thank you very much. 30 seconds are over. Hello, good morning. I keep saying good morning. You're bearing me to know. Let's hear you quickly.
Yeah, this is Eddie P from Chikunzo Factory, member of the Response and Defense team. And let me say what's up to the rest of the crew, especially the young people. I like, to be honest, I like Eddie Snowe. He one person that make himself available. Anytime you go and monitor him, after relationship, you always go and make like rock is. But you see, Mr. Snowe, one of the challenges we facing in the government, and which is scary. I want people to dance out, I want people and fuck the land. None of y'all even talk, and y'all know about Eddie Snowe. Why Eddie Snowe? I want people at your poverty. You want people to believe in you, to be honest with you. But the only thing is Eddie Snowe, and come to 2029, to be honest with you, Eddie Snowe, maybe if you get in a race, who's I would not ready for you, you got President where I will be there, to be honest with you. But if President where in the race, I will give you my vote, to be honest.
Thank you very much. If President Weah is not in the race, you will give your vote to Eddie Snowe. Let's hear this person. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. This is Miss Morris from Holland.
From Holland, 30
On
seconds.
the high side. Hi, Mr. Snowe. You know, you guys running adamant is the problem in Liberia today. We face it. And it's very hard to see you guys sit over to give you 9 years and you do nothing for the citizens. And we should be the first priority because we voted you in. So please, if you can lobby it around and get maybe 20 or 50 million like you, the way you speak the truth, I think the Liberian people will be happy because right now we are hurting. You're getting all the salary and we're getting nothing back. And this particular government that in power, hurting or more, and nobody's talking about it. So when we get on the street, they're going to be worse. If you could cut your years down, instead of 9 years, you could give yourself 5 years. Instead of 6 years, you had all the people who gave themselves 4 years and see what happened for the Liberian people once you put us first. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Let's see. Let's talk to somebody else from this side. Good morning. Good evening to you. Please go ahead.
For the top of the discussion on the show, my name is Robert Political Slata Ibrahimovic. I joined in skill on the help of the medical brothers and colleges in Kumputan. Let me appreciate the veteran that the heavens know. And I have a specific question to ask. As it relates to the issue of the Senegal yellow machine issue that was brought in by the government, if I read it with it, the president just make us with the legislature that the Senegal yellow machine was given to him by one of his friends on a gentleman agreement. Then the weekend of the order, he's constituted a thing headed by the vice president to go and renegotiate the deal. And it comes to $27 million instead of $84 million before they pronounce America paying and all of people. And this that Senegal has a because number one, the president took off to protect the constitution. It is here as a remedy for the of the president because he lacked on hope. How can you get us speak about it? Because it's our integrity of our president in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We go to the female number. I don't know whether it's on. Okay, the female number is not on. Let me try to put that on. But yes, we can take your calls on these the different numbers from here. I see the lines are blocked. No, the traffic again. The traffic is huge. Everybody is pushing everybody off the line. Let me try this person and see whether we can get him or her through. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Okay, let's hear you. 30 seconds.
Okay, Nora John from New Georgia. Hi to all the panelists.
Hello to.
Yeah, I want to say this to Honorable Snowe. Good evening.
Good evening.
I hear you on Spoon FM. I heard Abdullah Mame asking you a question that when does the area of your oversight take place? You know, when the president sent the budget, you find out at least I think the recent budget we had health, agriculture, and all the other rest were cut down and things like that. So when he asked about your oversight, looking at what the executive is doing, and you people are not able to, put it in place, and you told him that he should give you the next budget year, things will be there. But this is the second time hearing you with this particular statement. The first budget, you were on phone. You took.
Okay, Bam, thank you. I see you making a lot of references instead of asking a specific question to the senator, but I'm sure he got the point. We can continue with the call in because we have to let the senator go, and we do have to go. We are straight with 3 hours. We can go anything beyond 3 hours, so we have 6 minutes to go. Senator, I'm sure you can tie your response in 1 minute 30 seconds. Then we can let you go.
Sure. So let me start with my sister on the budget. You can take this to, like my friend Akaras would say, take it to the bank. No budget formulation or budget deliberation will ever be the same again in legislature. What happened to this last budget, whether it was shifting, whether it was tempering, whether it was alteration, we will not allow what happened to ever happen again. We're going to be more involved in the budget process, even if we committee because the budget is a reflection of our will and our commitment to our people. So, Madam, you're right about that. On the yellow machine issue, it was just a fiasco. I mean, it's a shame, and I'm surprised by now the president have not dismissed those people that were telling him that he can bring 283 pieces of yellow machine in this country in Liberia for $80 million. It was criminality at the highest. They should be ashamed of themselves. The figures I'm hearing today, unconfirmed, is even less than 27 million that you're talking about. So I got friends that own yellow machine. I know about yellow machine. I've got quotation on those same yellow machines with the same terms and conditions. And it's a shame that people are trying to exploit the president or exploit the country using the presidency as the guide. On other concerns, my brother talked about advocacy to continue to talk, and if President Weah is not on the ballot, he will support me. President Weah is my very good friend. We share a lot in common. He's a good man. He has a good heart for Liberia, and I doubt if we will be on opposing sides in 2029 because I still think he has vision for Liberia. And if he decides to run, or if my party decides to go into collaboration with his party, I'm sure it will be a strong collaboration for the forward march of Liberia. So I don't see any political division with he and I because we share a lot of political will together. We share a lot of things in common. So again, I just want to re-emphasize that. On the overall, I think, like someone said, our stewardship to Liberia is very important. We need to, and if you follow the legislative session on Friday, I made that point on the floor that the way we are proceeding, if we don't change course, the Liberian people could take action very soon against us, and we all will have ourselves to blame. I made that point on the Senate floor that no matter which party you belong to, no matter who you believe in, it's time that we begin to work for the Liberian people. We have been very lenient. I think the period of honeymoon is over. We need to be very strong. We need to be very vigorous in our approach, and we need to do what is right. I think we've been very lackadaisical, and it's about time that we redirect our course of action and begin to speak for the Liberian people. Too many things are happening wrong. The issue about tenure, what happened to the central bank was wrong. What happened to the LTA was wrong. Trying to take other tenure positions, trying to intimidate people. You're dismissing civil servants because they don't share the same political will or view as you do. Those are wrong actions. Those are all actions that will only help to further divide the country, and we cannot afford to keep Liberia as a divided country. So yes, we'll continue to speak on those wrong things that happen in the country. Our way of preaching, of talking about it may not be the same way you want to do it. The same way you are doing it, but we will also speak and we'll make sure that we have result from whatever pronouncement or actions that we take in those directions.
Okay, thank you so much, Senator Snowe. Gentlemen, we have less than 2 minutes to go. Can we do 1 second, actual quick? Can we base Senator Snowe farewell in just 1 more seconds? That's
Lady
1 more
first.
second.
Ladies first.
Okay, go ahead, Susan.
Well, thank you, Senator, for joining us. I mean, you say you're getting old, so I know how you won't go on a ballot again. You just say you're getting old. You say you're getting old in the Senate. You can't give us the zeal that we want because we want somebody that will be firing Omen Boaka. And you said old age is catching up, and here you are again. I know you never said yes to Austin question about running in 2029, but it seems like you have that in mind too. So yeah, thank you for coming on. So
Okay,
yeah, if
thank
you
you,
can,
thank you,
yeah.
Susan.
Susan, I just 54 years old. Don't worry.
Oliver.
Yeah, so Honorable Snow, it is a good time having you on the radio, and like you promised to Austin, we hope to have a lot of these conversations because having you is so resourceful.
Thank you. I promise that.
Mr. Gilman.
Yeah, Senator, thanks for being on here with us this debut program. Hopefully, you will encourage some of your colleagues to do the same. Be open and transparent with the Liberian people. Come on this platform and share their views and interests with us. Thank you.
Thank you
One
so
to
much.
tier 1 2.
Sure. Like everyone else, we want to appreciate you, Honorable Senator. I think an informed discourse is the best pathway for decisions that are made in the interest of everyone. So we appreciate it, and we're hopefully looking forward to have you for another moment to talk more, especially about the Western Cluster deal. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so we want to say thank you to you, my senator from my county, and we hope to keep in touch and engage on further critical issues that are concerning to Liberians, especially citizens of the Western region, particularly Bomi County. And folks, so you can.
Well, Susan, let me just say to Susan, like I said, if I become president in 2029, I'll make a very good president, and I want to assure you that was me playing basketball, keeping fit, and all of that. So I won't disappoint the Liberian people, and it will be a new Liberia and a better Liberia for all Liberians.
Okay.
I already know what I thought going to.
But gentlemen, we have to indicate here that the platform remains open. We reach out to all political parties, including the Unity Party, the ANC, and the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Information. I particularly reached out to Mr. Matthew Yemblu, who is the Assistant Minister for Information Services, to see whether the government can have a representation on the show. We also made multiple engagements with the Unity Party through Mr. Mo Ali to see whether the UP can have a representation here. We also reached out to Madam Moriah Yakula on behalf of the ANC to see whether they can have a representation on the show. And we're going to expand our engagements to see whether we can have other political parties representations on the show, so we have a competitive engagement as we engage for the next period of time here on Freedom Hard Talk. So those of you who are concerned why the views appear controlling or in one direction, is because we're still waiting for the other who may want to prefer this agreement. So UP folks, ANC, the government people, the platform, your slots are still available. Once you decide who to represent you or you want to rotate the representation, the platform is still open and available to you. This is Freedom Hard Talk. Yeah, we disagree, but we disagree with civility. So, gentlemen, I think we can go.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for the invite.
No doubt.
I'm trying to take an exit.
The guy leave studio.
I have to leave the studio, eh?
Yeah.
No, my friends are yeah. So I have to go through the studio.
Yeah, you see the red X that says leave studio.
Okay, let me turn my camera.
With that speech, the pitch indeed, and now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to be? See, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you screw us, you use us, and